Dan Fouts of the Chargers matched against the 49ers' Joe Montana. The backdrop, the picturesque San Francisco Bay on a beautiful, calm, clear 60-degree day as the defending Super Bowl champions, the pass-happy 49ers, host the Chargers' Air Coryell. A Candlestick Park capacity crowd of over 60,000 fans expected. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, and are we happy to be here for this one? It figures to be a high-scoring show, but what are the keys to victory?
Dick, I think the two injured 49ers, Dwight Clark and Ronnie Lott, two All-Pros, and they're important to this 49er team. They haven't practiced this week. How well they perform, that's the first thing we're going to look at. The other is the matchup between Montana and that rebuilt San Diego defense. He loves to throw against a 4-3 zone defense. That's what he's going to see most of today.
All right, for Don Coryell's Chargers, they are 3-2. A loss today, 3-3. They figure to make the playoffs, but could hurt them as they go for the home field advantage in the upcoming playoffs.
And on the other side of the field, Bill Walsh is even in a more critical situation. He's 2-3. If he loses today, he goes to 2-4 and may not be able to make the playoffs.
And we're set for the kickoff. The 49ers descended left to right to the San Diego Chargers. Wersching. James Brooks stands at the San Diego 2, and we're underway. At the 8, it's Brooks. He has an opening, and out to the 33-yard line. One block away from turning that kickoff into a touchdown. Dan Fouts has with him the veteran John Cappelletti and all-purpose Chuck Muncie. And that great Air Coryell receiving corps. Charlie Joyner, the veteran, he's moving up on the all-time list. Kellen Winslow, the tight end, number 2 in the NFL. Wes Chandler, he's the speed receiver. The offensive line, they've allowed Fouts to be sacked only 5 times all year. Shields, Wilkerson, Masick, White, Washington, big and experienced. First play of the game from the 33, and Fouts predictably to throw. Chandler incomplete at the 47-yard line. Coverage on the play by Williamson. Defensively, Jim Stuckey, Pete Kugler, John Hardy. As Bill Walsh has juggled that defensive line, Fred Dean comes in pass situations. He's in there now. Harper, Reynolds, Horn, and Turner, when they're using the 3-4 defensive alignment, are the backers. And pressure in that defensive secondary on both sides. Lott and Wright. Williamson and Hicks at safety. Young core of defensive backs. They were brilliant last year. 2nd and 10. Muncie. Fumble! Fouts and Washington cover it, but way back at the 17-yard line.
Both coaches and both quarterbacks extremely concerned about turnovers. Almost a crucial one here. Muncie takes a strong hit from 58. Keena Turner strips the ball loose. The 49ers able to get the ball loose, not able to capitalize. Big Russ Washington, number 70, along with Fouts over there to jump on that football, Dick.
Tremendous loss on the play of 14 yards. And now Fouts in the hole. Gives to Muncie. He can only make it to the 19, and the 49er fans cheer the defense.
There's a feeling in this stadium of tremendous excitement from these fans, and also in the introductions you could see the intensity of the 49er team. They've come out with much more energy in the early going than the San Diego Chargers. Let's see if they can sustain it.
Dana McLemore is the deep man. Freddie Solomon also back for the 49ers. Maury Buford, the rookie from Texas Tech, to kick.
3 receivers back because people have been kicking away from Freddie Solomon.
Dwight Hicks is also back there. Solomon lets it bounce, and it takes a good Charger roll. San Diego gets a break all the way to the 27 of the 49ers. Jim Jodat just acquired by the Chargers. First man downfield, a 54-yard punt. Joe Montana, the quarterback. Jeff Moore, a 12th round draft pick acquired on waivers from Seattle. Bill Ring, a free agent, are the starting running backs behind Montana. Dwight Clark leads the NFL, 32 receptions. Tight end Charlie Young. Fred Solomon, he's the move man. The line, Lindsey Mason, former Raider, Ayers, Quillen, Pro Bowler, Randy Cross, Keith Fawnhorse, the captain, player rep. They start out with a double right, triple right formation. And Montana throws on first down. Wide open is Mike Wilson. And the young receiver from Washington State picks up that nickel and dime yardage that Bill Walsh is known for. 5 yards on the pass. Defensively, the white jersey Chargers align themselves in this manner. Rick Ackerman, Wilbur Young, Gary Johnson, and Keith Ferguson, defensive line. In the 4-3 setup, it's Lyndon King, Cliff Thrift, and Woody Lowe, the backers. Jeff Allen for Willie Buchanan at one corner, Mike Williams the other, Tim Fox, Bruce Laird, the veteran safety men. Dwight Clark, his first catch, and a first down at the 45-yard line.
We mentioned that Clark has not practiced all week. Even yesterday in the light workout, only caught a few balls. It does not appear to have destroyed his mobility. Good positioning in front of a secondary that's dropped way back, and Dwight Clark able to pick up an easy first down.
33rd catch of the year. He had a 6-catch lead over the rest of the league coming into this game. Those of you just joining us, Giants beat the Eagles 23-7 in the other game today in the NFL. Mix up 5 yards against someone.
Gary Big Hands Johnson, number 75, the first man off. Wilbur Young right behind him. Question is, did one of the 49er offensive linemen move? And obviously one did.
Appeared to be John Ayers.
Let's see if we can pick it up for you there. There you see the movement on the defense, but we did not get a chance to see the guard lift his hand. It only takes a slight movement because the offensive line, once they've gone to a three-point stance, simply not allowed to do any moving.
Merlin, let's go back to Dwight Clark, the 49ers receiver. That is 33rd catch of the year. And now he has 200 receptions in this, just his 4th season. Bill Ring straight ahead to about the 43. That'll be 3 or 4 of the yards out of the 5-yard penalty. Brings up second down. Ring is from Brigham Young University. He was a free agent picked by the Steelers a couple of years ago. Befriended Rocky Bleier, a back not unlike Ring, a tough, not excellent speed or size and the rest. And Bleier, interestingly, has stayed his friend and represented him in the negotiations with the 49ers in the offseason. Ring's first start in the NFL today. That's Ring in motion. Whoops! Montana tripping, and Rick Ackerman secures him back at the 38-yard line.
Chance for you to look at it here as Montana goes back, finds himself with a foot all twisted up, cannot get the handoff going, and ends up on the ground.
And Ackerman gets a sack, his 4th of the year. That's one of those easy ones. He leads, by the way, the Chargers. No, now they say that is not a sack. Ackerman, nevertheless, leads the Chargers and has only 3 sacks. Dean with only 2, leading the 49ers. They did not generate much of a rush. That's Charlie Young. But when he fell catching the ball, he lost the advantage of all that open field and is shy of the first down by plenty. Woody Lowe made the stop. So Montana and Fouts in their first series unable to pick up a first down.
One of the things that you saw there is Montana's excellent ability to feel the rush and to find some room to throw the football. I don't think there's a quarterback in football that does that as well as Joe Montana. And when he does that, he gets extra time to throw.
So on 4th down 11, Jim Miller, the barefooted kicker of the 49ers, will deliver from around the 35. Brooks with 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Chargers. Brooks at the 19. And he's run out of bounds at the 25. Keena Turner, number 58 for the 49ers. Good kick by Miller of 37 yards, 6-yard return. We played nearly 5 minutes. First quarter, no score.
Only Chrysler has 10.9 financing on many new 83 American-built front-wheel drive cars and pickups. Ford and GM don't. Buy a Dodge car or Dodge truck. Plymouth, or Chrysler. Save hundreds on financing. Many new 82s have 10-9 financing. And you get $300 to $1,000 back only from Chrysler. And all Chrysler's new American-built cars come with 5-year, 50,000-mile protection. Only Chrysler has 10.9 financing on 82s and 83s. Compare. You'll come to Chrysler.
If your boss said you could pick any new typewriter, what would you choose?
IBM. IBM.
IBM.
IBM.
Every year, there are more and more typewriters to choose from. But which one is still preferred most?
IBM.
If you could have anything you want right on your desk, what would you choose?
Erase.
Today's game, Candlestick Park, San Francisco, brought to you by the new Chrysler Corporation. Quality engineered to be the best. By the Bell System, put the Bell Network to work for your business. And by Atari, the leader in home video games. For fun, your whole family can share. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Each team has had a possession. No score. 10:01 left, first quarter.
Massive substitutions as the 49ers put a different look in there defensively. Four-man line as opposed to the three.
From the 20-yard line, a quick out to Chandler. Good move. And he's out of bounds at the 35 with San Diego's initial first down. 15-yard play.
The reason they tried to foul up the offensive call there, they tried to substitute the last second. Watch the protection for Dan Fouts. He's getting tremendous help on the inside from a number of people, including his big center in there, number 62, Don Mason.
Chandler, acquired from the New Orleans Saints, and has filled the void when John Jefferson went on to Green Bay. Fouts under pressure. He hits his tight end, Eric Sievers, at the 46. Another first down. 11 more yards for Fouts. Sievers from the University of Maryland. That's his 7th catch this year. Using the double tight end, although Kellen Winslow can really fit any position. He's wide receiver, tight end, flanker.
Ask about Kellen Winslow. Talking to Walsh, he said he's the finest athlete in the NFL today. Quite a compliment.
Draw play to Muncy. That's only a yard. Well read. First contact was made by Lawrence Pillars, number 65. He slowed him down. Mike Clark secured the tackle. Now we're going to be keeping our eye on total pass attempts. The all-time NFL record is 98. Minnesota and Baltimore back in 1969.
I'm glad I wasn't trying to rush the passer in that game. They ran the legs off those poor defensive linemen.
That would have to be Unitas and Tarkenton, wouldn't it? Oh, wide open is Joyner at the 40. And he's to the San Francisco 33 before Ronnie Lott can ride him down.
Dick, one of the differences between these two teams offensively is the precision of these pass routes from the San Diego Chargers. Fouts goes back, he knows where those receivers are going, and he is throwing to a point. Watch him here. It's just a quick step back and zap. That ball is in the air. Excellent execution. Montana, on the other hand, tends to read the receivers more, knowing what their options are, and then getting the ball to them as they make their break.
On first down, it's Muncy. Back to Joyner. You saw the graphic. 16 receptions for 16 first downs. That is Joyner's year. Every time he's caught a pass this season in this short year, it has been for a first down. And so it was on his first reception today. And what a man he is. Now 34, 14 years in the league, a quarterback. In high school, then at Grambling, James Harris was his quarterback, and he was the receiver.
Consistency, averaging 71 catches a year in the last 3 seasons.
Incomplete, and almost a backward pass or lateral. And it goes out of bounds, but they say it was a forward pass. So back to the line of scrimmage will be 3rd down and 8.
Both teams appear to be a little tense. I think they have recognized the drama of this matchup and perhaps feeling a little bit more emotion than than they would like to be feeling right now. They're not settled into this game yet, Dick.
I think just that strike has forced everyone to be in a hurry-up position. After all, this is the 6th game, but this will mark the 2/3 of the season. Only 3 left after this one. And you can ill afford to lose. These clubs are looking not only for the playoffs, but that home field advantage. Going deep for Chandler. Touchdown! What a catch! Chandler beats Eric Wright 31 yards for the touchdown, his 2nd scoring catch of the year.
What a fantastic play. One of the reasons that Fouts was able to get that play off is that Kellen Winslow slipped in from an outside position to throw a block for him. And then Fouts just fired that ball as deep as possible. A bump right there that could well have been called by the officials, but Chandler maintains his concentration on the ball and slips in under Eric Wright. I don't think you would ever see a finer catch by a receiver than that.
Benerska tacks on the extra point, and the Chargers take an early 7-0 lead as Fouts rainbows a pass for 31 yards to Chandler, whose concentration was perfect, and San Diego leads first.
Canon's AE1 program is impressing a lot of people. For the pro photographer,
it's even more advanced.
And for pro quarterback Joe Theismann,
it's even simpler to use.
No matter how tough the shot, the program mode automatically sets the camera for the best possible photo.
Oh, this Canon is super.
The Canon AE1 program. So advanced, it's simple. Canon, the photographic consultant to the National Football League.
Avis steps ahead with new Avis Express to get you from your plane to your car fast. I'm David Mahoney of Avis. Follow me. Walk right past those crowded airport rental counters, straight to the Avis bus. Avis Express is the first express service
Your name,
that
please?
does not require a bus pass. Just your name. Your guaranteed rate contract is ready at our express location. Ask for Avis Express. Another way that trying harder makes Avis second to none.
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Saturday Night Sports. The big story tonight, Frank Gumby, Lionel Richie. Awesome. Saturday night is live.
Just a little over 2.5 minutes for the Chargers to go 80 yards using the pass as Dan Fouts clicks 31 yards to Wes Chandler. Bill Ring, Dana McLemore deep. McLemore has done a fine job returning kicks, so they send it to Ring at the goal line. He's out to the 27-yard line. 27-yard return by Bill Ring, who'll now huddle in that offensive backfield. 49 Andre Young made the tackle. He's from Louisiana Tech. Mark it at the 26-yard line. So the 49ers, the defending Super Bowl champions, they're 2-3. And a loss today could be disastrous as they hope to be able to defend in that 8-team tournament for the NFC. They're tied for most consecutive 300-yard passing days. Jeff Moore outside, 40, 45 for Moore, first down.
Chance for you to watch from the end zone as the 49ers cross up the defense, get a good shot outside. Number 57, Lyndon King, the man who tried to force it inside, didn't get a shot at it, but good running on the part of Jeff Moore to pick up the extra yardage.
And at 19 yards for Moore, that's the longest running play for the 49ers all year. They're last in the league in rushing the football. Moore ran well against the Rams in the last game, however. Screen to Russ Francis, the tight end, and he's all the way to the 41-yard line. And Merlin, if Francis had not stumbled as he was juggling that ball, he might have gone all the way.
Russ Francis doing an excellent job. Let's watch Joe Montana drop now. Montana is very quick getting away from that quarterback. Notice how rapidly he gets back, slips into position. He's got to look downfield to set it up. Now just loops the ball over the top, right into the hands of his tight end, Russ Francis. And Russ Francis almost drops the ball there. You see that, just about dropped it out. But fine play.
He had blockers downfield, and that little juggle may have cost him a lot of extra yardage. First down at the 41. Francis again. And a gain of a couple.
Russ Francis came here at the beginning of the year after a year's layoff, but fully expecting to instantly be inserted into the lineup. Charlie Young was the starting tight end here last year, did a fine job, and Bill Walsh said, you've got to earn your way into the lineup. Francis also had some back problems that made it difficult, but he is just now threatening for that starting tight end's job, Dick.
Number 1 pick of the Patriots back in '75 out of the University of Oregon. 6'6" and 242. He lines up on the right side with Clark wing right. Mike Wilson to the far side. Clark to the 30. First down, San Francisco.
San Diego Chargers blitzing on that play, trying to get at the quarterback Joe Montana. Dwight Clark coming off, quickly getting into the secondary, and then cutting across to find some open turf. You see him just drift into the seam in that zone, and then make a few extra yards by running the football. Montana, at the same time, will take a real shot here as he delivers that football right there.
Montana is 6 for 6 in this first quarter, 49 yards passing. Moore. Oh, and a fine defensive play by number 30, Bruce Laird, the safety from American International, that saved a potential long gainer. That hole had really opened for Moore. 49ers have missed on only 2 opportunities, once inside that 30-yard line, and they currently are at the 28.
Moore took a real shot from number 58, Dewey Selman. Still managed to keep his balance and pick up a couple of yards. Good running.
Second down, 8. Clark. Forward progress to the 17. First down. Cliff Thrift made the tackle for San Diego. He was a teammate of Mark Gastineau at East Central Oklahoma.
All of the great concern about the health of Dwight Clark seems to be unfounded as he continues to be a real factor here in this game. Montana said he's the smartest receiver I've ever dealt with. He knows how to find the openings in that defense, and especially in a zone defense.
3 catches today for Clark to boost his lead as the top NFL receiver. Screen to Ring, and Gary Big Hands Johnson caught him from behind just outside the 10, but it's a good gain of about 7, and Montana is 8 for 8.
Plays being called by that man on the sideline, Bill Walsh, getting information from up above, but he is mixing his plays so well. He's allowing the penetration of the defensive line, hitting them with an outside screen on that play with a screen up the middle. Throwing a run when they expect a pass, and then passing when they expect a run.
Call it 6 yards, second down and 4.
Montana has a unique ability to sense where the openings are in the pocket. He gets tremendous pressure here. Watch him just step quickly up, pull out of the grasp of a defensive lineman, Keith Ferguson, number 76, and then he shows you his mobility. And I think that's the one difference between these two quarterbacks, is the scrambling ability of Joe Montana.
49ers had trouble getting an 11th man on the field. Russ Francis grabbing a helmet. He jumped in there, and the try for point by Wersching. Montana holding, and the game is even. Joe Montana, 8 for 8 passing, and he caps the drive with an 11-yard scramble with a tying touchdown. How do you do? We'll be right back.
I bought my bathing suit, what there is of it, on the Riviera.
Very international.
Right down to my card.
MasterCard International. So worldly, so welcome.
Last night, L.A.
Tonight, Broadway.
So worldly, so welcome. So worldly, so welcome. MasterCard International.
Of all the cars in America, these are probably the most perfect family cars. The 83 Dodge Aries Ks. Only Aries gives your family 6-passenger room with mileage this high, 5-year or 50,000-mile protection, and the driving security your family needs when conditions are at their worst. You see, no other full line of 6-passenger coupes, sedans, and wagons is engineered with front-wheel drive.
Now, 10.9 financing on many new 82 and 83 Dodge cars. Participating dealers have details.
So the 49ers answer the Chargers' 80-yard drive with a 74-yard 8-play maneuver of their own to tie it. Montana, as receivers covered, scrambling in for the 11-yard touchdown. It's 7-7. Wersching tees it up, and Brooks stands back at the San Diego goal line. So those two drives, Merlin, were really the kinds of offensive action that we were looking for anticipating this game. Down to Brooks, short kick at the 7. Good speed. Ooh, he had daylight to the sidelines, but down to the 25, a good tackle. 45, Newton Williams. Tomorrow, a doubleheader here on NBC of National Football League action. Battle of Ohio will feature the Browns, Ken Anderson, defending AFC champion Bengals. Many of you will see the Steelers against the Bills. And at 4 o'clock Eastern time, the Raiders and the Chiefs renew their long rivalry, while the Broncos tangle with the Rams in Los Angeles. Check your local listings for the times and games in your area. Doubleheader tomorrow begins 12:30 Eastern time, NFL 82. Chuck Muncie with a huge hole and drives out to the 35-yard line, close to a first down. Wilkerson and White, the two guards, and Masick, the center, opening a big gap for Chuck Muncie.
Talked to Jack Reynolds, Hacksaw Reynolds. He said, that's like facing 5 tackles. He said, I've never seen offensive linemen as big as San Diego is.
Big, 284 for Shields, Wilkerson 258, Masick 260, White 279, Washington 295.
And I think they're cheating a little on those numbers.
You're right. Muncie, first down and more to the 45-yard line. Another big hole, this time opened by White and Washington on the right side. 11 more yards for Muncie.
Chance to watch the outstanding blocking of the tight end, Kellen Winslow. Watch him right there in the center of your picture as he gets off on the ball, blocking on Harper, number 59. He's got to lock him up and keep him occupied, and that allowed the running ability of Muncie to have an opportunity in the secondary.
The all-purpose value of Winslow. A 7-7 tie. Fouts tipped. Still almost caught by Joyner at the 45 of the 49ers. Ronnie Lott, 42, was there. So is Keena Turner and Willie Harper.
Smart play by the veteran Charlie Joyner. That ball up for grabs, and he came back knowing that if he couldn't get to it, he'd make sure the 49ers couldn't either.
6 new 49ers come in defensively as Bill Walsh substituting in numbers. Passing offense, 1-2 in the National Football League.
They're simply not doing anything to get out of that position today.
Fouts is 5 for 8 thus far. 6 for 9 as Chandler skids out of bounds at the 45. That's going to be very close. They're going to mark it at the 44. It'll be a first down.
Dick, I stood and watched the San Diego Chargers practice on Wednesday, and a full passing drill of this San Diego team is almost frightening. The quickness with which Fouts can read the defense and deliver the football, and the precision of his receivers is really, at least for an old defensive player, awesome.
Don Coryell, who has 5 division titles in 9 years when you count his St. Louis Cardinal record. Chandler! Ooh, did he run into a tackle after making a great move. He's to the 34, and will he get up? You could hear the pads pop all the way into the press box.
One of the keynotes of the preparation of the 49er defense, be physical with those receivers, and you saw it right there. Make them pay a price for catching that football. But they're dealing with Wes Chandler and Joyner, and certainly in Winslow, with 3 very physical men who are difficult to intimidate.
Merlin, we've seen 18 passes already in this game, and 15 of them complete. as we come to the end of the first quarter. Fouts is 7 for 10. Montana going for Fouts' record is 8 for 8. The score tied at 7. Second quarter coming up.
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays.
The Denerex Dandruff Shampoo difference.
On this side, I feel a tingling sensation, and there's no tingling on this side.
Look what you used.
I can't believe it. The Selsun Blue has been my old standby. I've never had this feeling of working sensation as I had with the Denerex.
Each shampoo has one medicine for dandruff. Only Denerex adds extra anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
I'm not even going to look for anything else. I'm going straight for Denerex.
Denerex shampoo or shampoo and conditioner fights dandruff and its itch with an extra relief medicine.
There's an extra toughness in trucks. Ram Tough. Dodge Rams are a new generation of pickups. Bodies armored against rust with more galvanized steel in critical areas than any Ford or Chevy. Dodge Rams go beyond what the others call tough.
Dodge trucks are Ram Tough.
Now 10.9 financing on all new domestic 82 and 83 Dodge pickups. Participating dealers have details.
51-year-old Bill Walsh making mass substitutions defensively. He was a high school star in Los Angeles, and his teammate was Hugh McElhenney, the former 49er great, now Hall of Famer.
Again, Walsh changing his defense, shifting his people, lining up first with what appeared to be a passing rush, and now to a 3-4.
7-7 tie. Open the second quarter. John Cappelletti finds a hole and has a first down at the San Francisco 27-yard line. John Hardy of the University of Iowa made the tackle.
Cappelletti, an extremely durable back, normally used as a blocker for Chuck Muncie, and I think they might have been looking for Muncie on that play. Cappelletti slipping away. Also looking, I'm sure, for the throwaway pass on second and very short yardage.
They spot it to the 28-yard line. Cappelletti, one of the many Penn State graduates to excel in the National Football League. Joyner in motion. Screen, Cappelletti. Gets some blocks, and he's to the 15-yard line before Williamson and Lott could collaborate on the tackle. Doug Wilkerson, All-Pro many years for the Chargers from North Carolina Central, through the key block.
Doug Wilkerson, number 63. They call him Moosey. You watch him come across on the inside at the bottom of your screen. We're just going to see his feet there. He's right at the top of it. But Cappelletti doing a good job of setting up his blockers and then running for the extra yardage. 1st and 10.
Early second quarter, tied at 7. Ball at the 15. James Brooks. And it's the Chargers staying on the ground to the 12-yard line. 2nd and 7. Brooks' first carry. He had 96 yards last week against Cleveland. That was just one shy of his all-time pro rushing mark for a single game.
And now Don Coryell is doing the same thing that we saw Walsh do early, mixing his plays, throwing the screens, throwing in the run when it's not expected. These are like two chess masters working back and forth across the field.
With a high regard for each other. Walsh, a former assistant at San Diego before he took the Stanford job. Wide open is Chandler, but a flag is down. Beautiful move.
That's a shame. Chandler put it in. It looks like it's going to be a holding call.
Yes, call it back. Somebody holding Fred Dean.
I don't blame him for trying to hold Fred Dean. Dean is almost impossible to block in there. And although he's only had 2, he's certainly 2 sacks on the season. He's certainly got some pressure there, and they had to pull him down.
First penalty of the game costs the Chargers a touchdown. What a tremendously delicate route Wes Chandler ran. He used the post move and then cut back to the corner. It was perfect timing.
When John Jefferson left San Diego, people said, well, you'll never be able to replace him. Wes Chandler has done it.
2nd down. 17 for Fouts. Joyner lost the ball, but it goes out of bounds to San Diego. They rule Joyner had possession. A gain of about 11. And at the 11-yard line, we'll make it 3rd down and 5.
Crowd reaction will tell you where we are. They would have cheered that call in San Diego, but I think it was a good call as Joyner appeared to have control all the way out of bounds. We've been informed that Eric Wright, number 21, will probably not return to this game. He has a pulled muscle in his rib cage area. That's going to hurt the 49ers, Dick.
Yeah, they got Dana McLemore playing at that corner, and he doesn't have the experience. 3rd down. Call it 6. Winslow to the 7-yard line. Kellen Winslow will be shy of the 1st down, and a very interesting call coming up for Don Coryell. It's going to be 4th and about 1.
And I think he's going to kick it away. I don't think he wants to gamble down in there. This is the kind of game that you're going to be up and down the field all day. A short lead is not going to do you much good. Why not get the points while you got a chance?
Looking ahead, we should remind you that since the strike, the Chargers have scored only 1 touchdown in the second half. In 3 games, 1 touchdown in the second half. Luther, the hold.
They certainly have been a first-half team. We'll get some stats on that later on. It'll be interesting to look at it by quarter.
Benershka, 25 yards is good. And with 12:39 remaining in the first half here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the Chargers have a 3-point lead, 10-7 over San Francisco.
Oh, but what about Pittsburgh?
Oh, I can't go. The board's waiting.
But we're booked to Dallas.
You can handle it, Charlie.
The trip to New York.
When there's no time to travel to meetings, meet through the Bell Network with a teleconference.
Let's read the
Save time with a speakerphone.
Good idea.
Get more done with a fully equipped conference room. Or picture phone meeting service, which lets you see, show, demonstrate.
And we need some...
Bell has the knowledge.
Well, let's go with your plan.
We'll show you how to manage it. The knowledge business.
Last year, I told you that in an independent test for Best Color Picture, the Sylvania Superset beat RCA, Zenith, and Sony.
You won't beat Sony again.
Well, this year, we again asked over 1,000 people which 19-inch TV had the best overall color picture. And more of them picked the Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith.
You didn't beat Sony again.
And over Sony, too.
The
The Sylvania Superset.
A Saturday edition of NFL 82. Michaels and the hard-hitting Jets battle Shula and his Miami Dolphins. Then, the fast-breaking UCLA Bruins take on the Hawkeyes of Iowa on NBC Sports next Saturday.
Now, if we can get this circle to go around that cast, Rolf Benershka fell when he was playing handball. Racquetball. Rolf Benershka fell while he was playing handball, broke that wrist severely. He's got 2 pins in it, Dick.
So, with all of his other problems, McLemore at the 15 on the short kick gets it to the 32. So Benershka, of course, with his Crohn's disease, and was not allowed to participate in any contact, even though his kicking duties continued. Now has to favor that left arm, but that's not going to keep him out of duty.
Has not bothered him as much on his field goals as it has on his kickoffs.
When 100 Americans tested the 83 Escort, Chevette, and Dodge Omni for driving convenience and styling, the car rated superior overall was Dodge. And Omni gets outstanding mileage, has a 5-year, 50,000-mile protection plan, and comes road-ready with 13 new standard features for $626 less than last year, if comparably equipped. Compare Dodge Omni and you'll buy Dodge Omni.
Now, 10.9 financing on many new 82 and 83 Dodge cars. Participating dealers have details.
Coors is the beer made for the way you really like to drink beer. Taste first beer, fresh Coors after Coors.
This year, Santa's bringing cheer by the truckload. The new Coors Holiday 12-pack. 'Cause the more, the merrier.
off your New Year's Day with the biggest bowl bonanza ever. First, the Fiesta Bowl. Then the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Followed by the Orange Bowl. All this without ever changing your dial on NBC Sports New Year's Day.
Your former teammate with the Rams, Jack Hacksaw Reynolds. A big day for you tomorrow in Anaheim. The Los Angeles Rams will be honoring Merlin Olsen, retiring his uniform number 74.
That passing yardage already 121 for San Diego. And not nearly as much yet for San Francisco, but some effective yardage anyway.
Montana down the middle to Jeff Moore. 40, 30, 25-yard line.
43-yard pickup by Jeff Moore, who split the defense straight down the middle. They got a little action to the outside, pulled that zone apart. Now watch Montana lock this ball right over the top. 58, Dewey Selman, the man trying to cover Jeff Moore, number 25, and Moore continued on downfield well into San Diego territory.
Jeff Moore, a valuable acquisition by the 49ers. First down at the 24. Montana to Clark. He's to the 8-yard line. Another first down. Montana is 10 for 10.
Well, we knew we had a shootout, but boy, knew we had the action. This is a timing pattern, a precision pattern. Zip. Ball on its way. Dwight Clark taking the ball and the shot at the same time. Did not lose his control, body control, or the football inside the 10-yard line.
49ers trailing San Diego 10-7. 11 minutes remaining, second quarter. First and goal at the 8. Moore. A yard, maybe two. Bruce Laird came up to support with the initial hit for the San Diego Chargers by linebacker Lyndon King.
Tom Bass, defensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers, talks about bending but not breaking. They better not bend any further. There you can look at the 82 touchdown passes. NFL quarterbacks, Bradshaw leading, Joe Montana second in that category.
The 49er touchdown today on a Montana run.
Throwback screen, Jeff Moore.
Still perfect. He's completed all 11 of the passes he's thrown today. This one 6 yards, touchdown, and the Niners lead.
And what a brilliant call, getting tremendous pressure from Keith Ferguson and Gary Johnson, but they let them penetrate to buy a little bit of territory on the other side for Jeff Moore to operate. Moore, the running back, knew what to do with that football, easily into the end zone.
It was the 43-yard pass to Moore that started that drive that put the 49ers deep in San Diego territory. Jeff Moore, who had 3 touchdowns in the Rams game, the win by the 49ers a week ago, and another today. Wersching trying to match the numbers on his back. Makes it 14 for San Francisco, 10 for San Diego. Tom Bass, the Chargers defensive coordinator, will have to take his pupils back to school. They're down by 4.
What makes Hertz #1 for everyone? They don't charge for mileage.
And boy, do we have far to go.
The service is wonderful. They treat their cars better than most people treat their own. With their frequent renter program, the more you rent, the more travel awards you get. By doing more things for more people, Hertz is #1 for everyone.
Hertz is #1 for everyone.
They're the only ones in McPherson, Kansas.
That's right.
Nikon introduces a new 35mm camera so revolutionary 55,000 were sold before they were even built. It uses optics so superior they flew aboard Columbia. It operates automatically, semi-automatically, or manually. It measures light a completely new way for better flash pictures. It's so incredible it can even wake you up in the morning. Introducing the programmed Nikon FG, the ultimate 35mm camera.
San Francisco leading San Diego 14-10. Jeff Moore, the touchdown maker, and also had the big gainer. Took only 4 plays for Montana to whip the 49ers into the lead, and he used the pass, and those numbers are mounting.
Not only is that ball off target, not on the ground at all. What a start for Joe Montana today.
A perfect 11 for 11.
He should be bowing over there on the sideline as well.
James Brooks for San Diego at the 5. 20, 30, and a good return out to the 40-yard line. Hank Bauer, number 37, key special teams player for San Diego, threw an outstanding block. Ray Wershing, the kicker, was in on the tackle, along with Milt McCall. The passing statistics as Dan Fouts takes his turn on center stage. Fouts with 126 yards, 5 less than Montana. 24 total passes between them and 21 complete. Good field position at the 40. Great protection. Look at that protection all day. Going to Joyner. No penalty. Ronnie Lott and Dwight Hicks had double teamed Joyner. And it's Hicks, the 49er, who's mad.
Chance to take an end zone look at the great protection of the offensive line. Center, Don Masick. On the other side, Doug Wilkerson. And on this side, Big Ed White. Watch the protection they get inside. Staying tough to the middle. 67 trying to get in there. Pete Kugler, he can't go anywhere. 79, Jim Stuckey can't go anywhere. But unfortunately for the San Diego Chargers, great play coming in from the outside. Number 42, Ronnie Lott.
49ers are mad. They thought Joyner held Lott, kept him from making the interception. Kellen Winslow to the 47-yard line. That'll be 3 yards short of a first down. Winslow from the University of Missouri. The last 2 years, he's caught 89 and 88 passes to lead the league.
Kellen Winslow all by himself out in the open field. Watch him now as he'll go down. Just take a quick pass to the inside, and then he's one-on-one on Lynn Thomas, who's a much smaller man. Kellen Winslow usually gets a little better yardage out of one mismatch like that. He's a very, very physical man.
Lynn Thomas, 28, in for the injured Eric Wright. 3rd and 3. Open is Winslow. 40. Look at the strength. And he's to the 33-yard line. A San Diego first down. And Fouts now is 12 for 16 and over 150 yards.
Kellen Winslow will provide you with nightmares all over the field. Look at him right here. Number 80. Breaking off down the field. Getting through the first block. Didn't even slow him down. That's Keena Turner, 58. Now he's cutting inside of Carlton Williamson and just brushes Williamson aside. Finally, they stop him, but they had to get a gang on him to do it.
Dwight Clark of the 49ers, Kellen Winslow of San Diego, the top 2 receivers in the league this year. And there's Winslow, 3 in a row to Winslow at the 26-yard line, short of the first down, about 8 yards on the play.
Giving you a look again at the incredible versatility of Winslow. Watch Winslow right here in the middle of your picture. You'll see him first block and then break into the secondary. Just a little bump on the inside. 59 Harper. Now right there he's on Jack Reynolds, 64, but Reynolds has got to give up about a foot to Kellen Winslow. Not a good match when it comes to trying to stop a pass.
5 catches for Winslow. Fouts is 13 for 17. Wide open, Sievers, touchdown. So Fouts goes to Winslow, and then Eric Sievers, the other tight end, slips wide open down the middle for the score.
Both of these quarterbacks, masters at getting the mismatch. In that case, it was down the middle. It was a linebacker trying to cover Eric Sievers. And Dan Fouts would have none of it. He said, there's no way you can cover Eric Sievers. Sievers breaking clean down the middle. Fouts finds him and Sievers does the rest of it into the end zone. Chance to look at the fine blocking on Fred Dean after the kick here.
Venerska kicks the extra point, and the Chargers regain the lead 17-14.
Fred Dean, a man that the 49ers want to get pressure on the quarterback with. He's their ace rusher, number 74, right in the middle of your picture, working right there on Billy Shields, number 66. They did a good job of keeping him away from the quarterback.
So a 25-yard touchdown, Fouts to Sievers, and it's San Diego back in front.
This is it.
Excitement.
This is your chance to get 10.9% financing on 100% pure driving excitement on all 1982 Pontiacs. 10.9% on Firebird, Pontiac 6000, T1000, Phoenix, J2000, Bonneville Model G, and Grand Prix.
Excitement.
But hurry, you must take retail delivery between now and December 31st to get this low 10.9% financing. At Pontiac, we build
excitement.
For me, life doesn't end at the end of the day. It just shifts gears.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light.
A beer's got to be full of taste without making you feel full. I'll stick with Coors Light all the way.
Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
Just under 8 minutes left in the first half. Dan Fouts has just thrown a 25-yard touchdown to Eric Sievers to give San Diego a 17-14 lead. The kick, Venerska to Ring at the 8. Will Ring, 25. And to the 28-yard line he goes. Pete Holohan from Notre Dame made the tackle. So, to update the numbers, we have already had 317 yards total passing, and we're midway through the second quarter. Fouts now in the lead, 186-131, but it's Montana's turn with the Agate.
And neither has thrown an interception. Incredible numbers. Dude, those would be great numbers for a total day. We're not even to the half yet.
29 passes and only 4 have hit the ground. How'd you like to be a carnival man and have these two guys go in and take all your Kewpie dolls? They never miss. Another one, Solomon. First down at the 43-yard line is Freddie Solomon from Tampa University. Has his first catch of the day, 15 yards.
Let's watch Montana back quickly to set up here. I said before that one of his advantages is he's so quick getting back into a throwing position. Gets that ball off quickly to Solomon, who's again looking for the seam in that zone defense. He found it. Completed pass. First down.
Screen to Moore. And he's tripped up nicely by Gary Big Hands Johnson, number 79, the two-time All-Pro defensive tackle of the San Diego Chargers. That's 13 consecutive completions for Joe Montana from Notre Dame.
Montana taking the call as they send the play in from the sideline. Drops down to a knee to make the call in the huddle.
The all-time NFL record is now in jeopardy. Only 4 shy of the record is Montana. Burt Jones, 17 straight for the Colts 8 years ago. That's 14 in a row as Russ Francis has a first down at the 43-yard line. Cliff Thrift made the tackle.
One of the keys to the offensive philosophy of the 49ers is to get back, get into position, and get the ball on the way. Watch how quickly this ball is off in the air. Just 2 steps and the ball is thrown. Very, very difficult to defense against that kind of pass. Russ Francis doing a good job of getting off the line and then a fine job of concentrating on the football. First down.
We looked for a record-setting passing day, and Joe Montana trying not to disappoint. 14 for 14. Diego leads by 3. Jeff Moore loses his footing at the 44-yard line. That'll cost San Francisco a yard. 2nd and 11. Wilbur Young, number 99, there to secure him.
We've seen several players today slip as they tried to plant on this turf. During the past few years, they've had a lot of trouble with the turf here in Candlestick Park. Have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to try and bring it up to spec. It is a good turf, but you can see there are still some loose spots in it, and it's difficult at times to control. You'll see it right here as Jeff Moore runs the outside. Now watch him as he sees an opening inside. He'll plant right there with his foot. You see his feet just scoot out from underneath him.
Here's a reverse to Freddie Solomon, and the Chargers read that well. Tackled by Bruce Laird at the 48-yard line, the former Colt, and that's a loss of about 5 more.
That actually was a pass, Dick, that they intended to have Solomon throw that ball. We watched them work on that at practice yesterday, but as Solomon came around, he looked downfield. Both his receivers were covered. Tom Bass says to his troops, good going. Set them back.
So it's 3rd down, 15. Don Coryell's defense will look for the pass. Montana, in a throwing situation, has completed 14 consecutive throws. He's not missed yet in this game. No, it's a double wing. Montana. Dwight Clark at the 30, a first down for the 49ers. Montana is only 2 away from the record.
That's on the ground, Dick. He didn't get up. He really took a shot. In fact, the man that hit him actually hurt himself, too.
Andre Young, number 49.
Let's look at that pattern by Dwight Clark, number 87, coming out of off the line and driving inside now. Again, looking for the openings. He'll loop right around number 51, Woody Lowe, the linebacker, and catch that football. But what a shot by Adrian Young, number 49. Montana had a chance to throw to Bill Ring short. He wanted the long yardage. He's not messing around with a record. He wants touchdowns.
That's right. Ring could have given him 5 or 6 yards, but not a first down. He went to Clark, gets the first down at the 30, but will he lose his top receiver? Pass ratings going into the game, Terry Bradshaw. Is he having another brilliant year for the Steelers? Lynn Dickey for the Packers. And Joe Montana is 3rd in the pass ratings. That figures your completion percentage, your interceptions, your yardage, that sort of thing.
Of course, the enthusiasm for the offensive show dampened as we see Dwight Clark continue to lay on the turf. They're checking him over. They're not going at his knees or looking at his knees. Let's go back and look at that play, and perhaps we can see what kind of shot he took again.
Looked like David Lewis was also in on that last play.
51 Woody Lowe, but it's a shot coming from the outside right there. 49 Young, the man that just leveled him. Looks like he may have a bruise in the waist or hip area.
You know you'll get the job done right. We take pride in what we do, 'cause we care about the work we do for you. Trust the Midas touch. Trust the Midas touch.
78 MGB.
Where nothing but the best is ever gonna do. Trust the Midas touch. Trust the Midas touch.
You can buy a costlier Mercedes-Benz than the 240D sedan. You cannot buy a better Mercedes-Benz. The same impeccable engineering and finish as all Mercedes, but with its 4-cylinder diesel engine and even the choice of a 4-speed stick shift, it puts functional efficiency first. Many people think this makes the 240D a shrewd Mercedes to own, including some people who own a few.
David Lewis of the Chargers, he seems more seriously hurt than Dwight Clark, who came off under his own power. Perhaps the wind knocked out of him. A huge, rousing ovation for Clark as the fans recognize he's okay. 15 for 15 is Montana. There's his first miss. He nevertheless, to give you an indication, all the years they've played this game in the NFL, only 4 men have ever had a better consecutive run of completed passes than Montana. Jones, 17 in a row. Anderson, Morton, and Kramer all had 16 straight.
Joe Montana throwing that ball just slightly behind Jeff Moore. Difficult pass to throw, and again, thrown low so that there wasn't a chance for an interception on that play. You heard Montana in our opening piece talk about the importance of not making a mistake, not giving the football away. This Charger defensive team operates on the theory, bend but don't break.
I want to ask you about that. Simplify that for us, the fans. 2nd and 10. Montana forcing that one and has Russ Francis with a flag down. Francis goes out of bounds at the 18. Against whom is the penalty? Joe Montana is hurt.
Montana's still on the ground.
Rick Ackerman hit him as he threw the ball.
Out quickly to look at him. It may have been an offensive interference penalty. Francis into the defensive back. I don't know who instigated the activity down there.
It was against Francis. Montana was under pressure as he released the ball.
And of course, from our vantage, we can see that they're checking his wind rather than his legs. A chance to see what happened to Montana after he released that football. Ackerman, number 91, is the man that's going to come in on him from the top side of your screen. And watch him. He just takes him right in the stomach, ends up going down on top of Montana. Montana's hips were twisted a little bit when he hit the ground. Looks like he may have twisted himself a little bit, maybe just knocked his wind out. We'll hope that that's what it is, Dick.
Well, he's totally unprotected. As Guy Benjamin, the backup quarterback, played at Stanford, comes in. That you have a man 254 pounds, Ackerman, with all of that momentum going, and you're defenseless, and that weight just like a big sack of potatoes landing on you. Let's see how serious Montana is. As Benjamin comes in to replace him, we pause briefly for station identification. From Candlestick Park, San Francisco, this is the NBC Television Network.
KVBC TV3, Las Vegas.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We expected an aerial circus, and we've not been disappointed. The San Diego Chargers lead the San Francisco 49ers 17-14. Guy Benjamin has come into the game for San Francisco. Joe Montana, who started this game brilliantly, as he has played the last four, completing passes for more than 300 yards in each of the last four games. That ties Dan Fouts' NFL record, and Montana throws 15 straight completions today. He's just misfired for the first time, injured on the last play, appears to be okay. Well, coming up, the bowl special here on January 1st. NBC again will be bowling you over. Three great games. First, the Fiesta. The Sooners of Oklahoma. Arizona State, in essence, a home team there in Tempe. 14th rated team against number 11. That's at 1:30 Eastern time for the Fiesta Bowl. That'll be followed. Merlin and I will be at the Granddaddy as the University of Michigan Wolverines take on the Bruins of UCLA. Ranked 5th in the final polls. Michigan 17th in the coaches poll at the end of the season. Bo Schembechler against Terry Donahue. They weren't very happy with each other earlier in the year when UCLA rallied to win at Ann Arbor. And then the third part of our triple header at night at the Orange Bowl, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Some would argue that's the top team in the country against that great defense, the Tigers of LSU.
Montana coming off under his own power, and he too gets a rousing reception from these fans who were holding their breath until he came up off the ground. We'll see more of Joe Montana, Dick.
They're holding their breath while he tries to catch his. 49ers, Guy Benjamin, acquired from New Orleans last year for a number 6 draft. He played for Walsh at Stanford and led the nation for the Cardinals, completing 63% his senior year. Drafted by Miami in the second round in '78. He inherits second down and 20 after the offensive interference. Jeff Moore gets only 3. Jeff Moore trying to sweep that right side, and coming up with number 27, Jeff Allen, along with Lyndon King.
Obviously trying to cross up that San Diego defense as they run a sweep on an obvious passing down. Trying to get around to the outside. Jeff Moore not able to pick up much yardage, and we're getting some substitutions into the game. Let's see what Bill Walsh wants to do on this 3rd and 16.
Number 45, Newton Williams, a rookie from Arizona State, a number 5 draft pick. Great athlete. He high jumps 6'8". He's in the backfield now. 3rd and long. Plenty of time. Dumps it off to Charlie Young, the tight end. He's to the 28-yard line. Not good enough for a first down, but it did move the ball close enough that Wersching could try a long field goal. And he comes in.
An interesting call, almost a replica of the old shovel pass series. As Charlie Young blocked to the outside, delayed momentarily, and then swung across through the middle of the line behind the defensive lineman. Little toss pass from the quarterback. Good yardage. Let's see if they can get this through the uprights.
You see, Wersching's longest this year is 45 yards, and that's what this kick attempt will be from 45 to tie the game. We're even.
Let's give a little credit to Freddie Solomon. He had to go in and hold. Montana usually does that job. Solomon goes in there and pulls down a rather high snap. Wersching did not get a clean kick. Take a look at Solomon, number 88. Now watch this snap, way high. He gets the ball down, gets it on the mark, and Wersching really leveled some power into it, hooked it through the goal.
So Wersching 8 for 11 on the year, and after, well, there's only 2 minutes left in the half, and it's tied again.
Introducing the totally new 1983 Toyota Tercel. Its front-wheel drive is only the tip of the iceberg. This Tercel is the lowest-priced Toyota you can buy. It has more room than any other subcompact and gives you more mileage than ever before. The new Toyota Tercel. It's a new standard in front-wheel drive, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Tercel!
Coors is the beer made for the way you really like to drink beer. Taste first beer, fresh Coors after Coors.
This year, Santa's bringing cheer by the truckload. The new Coors Holiday 12-pack. Because the more, the merrier.
Sunday Boggs head over heels.
Good move.
Trying to save a damsel in distress.
To the new Robin of Sherwood Forest.
Voyagers.
On the right of your screen, Joe Montana. The report is it's the stomach. Apparently, as he landed, he might have even fallen on the football. They're putting on a flak jacket. Wersching, who just tied it at 17, skids one beautifully, and it doesn't go in the end zone. Brooks in trouble, but gets some blocks and is able to carry to the 15-yard line.
A heady move by Brooks as he was going to let it roll into the end zone. I think it would have gone. He could have touched it down. He came back out with the ball, finally brought down by Jim Jodat, one of the new acquisitions of San Diego. Fine special teamers. Watch the attack here by the 49ers as they're coming down. Get a chance to see the blocking right in there. One of those blocks thrown by Jodat, number 40. There it was, right in the center of your screen.
And Rick Jervis finally made the stop, number 24 for San Francisco. The 2-minute warning. It comes with 1:55 left in the half, and it's now San Diego looking for the lead.
Meet John Hybrid III and his family. Not much personality, but gluttons for punishment. These scientifically advanced lifelike dummies are helping General Motors lead the industry in safety-related research by demonstrating how the human body withstands force.
And you think you've had some tough days.
We're living up to our commitment. Right now, today, we're the best GM ever.
When you're out in the sun, enjoying the weather. When you kick up your heels and you're stepping together. 70 calories never look better.
Olympia Gold. Great taste and only 70 calories. That's the fewest of any leading light beer.
When you're whacking the ball, playing harder than ever. Olympia Gold never look better.
Olympia Gold. 70 calories never look better.
With 1:55 left in the first half, San Diego and San Francisco tied at 17. Jeff Moore, an injured elbow. You can see they've wrapped that left arm and elbow. And Moore, who has a touchdown today and had 3 in the victory against the Rams, is heading for the trainer's room here at Candlestick Park. So the 49ers, it's been costly thus far. Clark shaken up. Montana knocked out of the game briefly. Starter at corner, Eric Wright is out of the game. And now Moore on his way to the locker room. San Diego not scoring, but 1 touchdown in the second half. 16 points total. From the 15, it's Fouts to Joyner at the 22. He doesn't get out of bounds. Clock running. San Diego has its 3 timeouts left. Will Fouts spend one? No. He's going to rush him to the line of scrimmage.
probably the most outstanding pass rusher in football. Number 74, Fred Dean, right in the middle of your screen, but they've done a good job of keeping him away from Fouts today. A great matchup with number 66, Billy Shields, and you see Shields with a whole handful of Fred Dean on that play.
Fouts to Chandler, incomplete. And Eric Wright is back in the game, and that's good news for San Francisco. It was Wright who broke up the pass, and we have a flag down in the San Diego backfield.
I think maybe they called it a play too late. They're getting a holding call on the San Diego Chargers. Billy Shields over to talk to the official. He may have tried to pull the same trick on Fred Dean he did on the play before.
That stops the clock with 1:21 left in this first half. 17 all. And apparently the 49ers are going to decline the penalty. Yes, that's interesting. They turned down the 10-yard penalty. That brings up third and a short 3.
Very interesting reaction from the...
That puzzles me.
Well, I kind of like that extra yardage. I'd give them a down here. Apparently they're more concerned about giving Fouts downs than they are time.
Yeah, but San Francisco has all its timeouts left. They can stop the clock. So instead of 2nd and 13, it's 3rd and 3. Flag down again as Chandler was knocked down in the secondary. We'll see if that's why they called the penalty. Eric Wright was the defender for San Francisco. But Chandler,
a holding call on the defense on that play as a chance for you to look at it at home. Number 21, Eric Wright, who's playing hurt in there. You know, he left the game earlier. Takes a hold and literally pulls Wes Chandler to the ground. Now he's entitled to one hit inside of that 5-yard line. Chandler trying to catch up on the pattern because he knows that the ball is going to be in the air. That's one of the problems with the timing pattern. When that ball is in the air, you got to be there as a receiver, and that's why he was hustling to get down there.
Eric Wright, with a handful of Chandler's jersey, is caught. A 5-yard holding penalty, but more importantly for San Diego, gives them a first down and stops the clock. 1:15 left, and San Diego still has its full complement of timeouts. Chandler. Incomplete at the 48. That was much like the touchdown play. Chandler looking inside at last minute, spinning outside, and almost pulled it off again.
I think that's the toughest move for a receiver to make when he has to change shoulders. He loses sight of the ball, has to turn completely around and come back for the ball. Very, very difficult. Fired that ball in over the top. Chandler had it in his hands momentarily, couldn't hang on to it.
Been really a terrific half of football. 17 all. We understand Joe Montana will return the next time San Francisco has the ball. Fouts, meanwhile, is 15 for 21. 6 yards short of 200 in the first half. Draw play to Brooks. Big opening. 30, 40, and ducks out of bounds with a first down at the 45.
Ran right past Dennis McKnight, number 60, over on that sideline. We've got a great piece coming up at halftime, which involves Dennis McKnight.
But don't give it away now.
Oh, well, just say that it'll show you a little of the humanity and a bit of the little boy that all of these athletes have in them.
That's NFL 82 with highlights at halftime, and it's going to be the Chargers version of a world championship, and Dennis McKnight is involved. So stay with us. Meanwhile, the Chargers trying to take the lead before the gun. 1:03 left in the half. Ball at the 45 of San Diego. Triple right. Great protection again, and there's Brooks. Almost intercepted. Reynolds broke up the pass, and number 22, Dwight Hicks, who may have been injured on the collision, almost got the rebound.
Jack Reynolds showing surprising speed as he's downfield with number 21, Brooks. And I think it was Reynolds who actually ran into Eric Wright. Watch the end of the play here as you see number 87, Dwight Scales, go up for that ball. Hicks, number 22, coming in. And let's see what... Yep, he does. He actually gets a shot from Reynolds in the legs as he comes over the top. Beautiful shot of the ball spiraling in.
James Brooks unable to handle it as Jack Reynolds made the defensive play. And we have a timeout. 58 seconds left in the first half. It's San Diego 17, San Francisco 17.
I'm in the same league with Joe Montana and Ken Anderson.
When your kids join the NFL Super Pro Club, they're in the club that's part of the NFL, and they get a lot of surprises through the year, like the official Super Pro ID card from their favorite team, and this T-shirt transfer, the NFL Trivia Book, decals of their favorite team, newsletters full of inside information, their favorite team's photo, Bengals, Niners, the great NFL Fun Book, Touch Football Booklet, Sideline Saucer, an NFL standings board where members can track their favorite team to the Super Bowl. It's all worth much more than the $6 membership fee. Your kids will love to join. Send name, address, name a favorite team, and a $6 check or money order to Super Pro, Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can be in the same league with us.
Preceding announcement furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Candlestick Park, San Francisco. The Chargers scored first, 31-yard touchdown. Bounced to Chandler. Montana rallied the 49ers on an 11-yard scramble to tie it at 7 at the end of the first quarter. Benerska field goal for San Diego. Montana to Moore, a touchdown for San Francisco, made it 14-10. Fouts to Sievers, gave San Diego the lead, and then Wersching's field goal has tied it. We're in the final minute. That's Chandler, and he's got it again at the 30-yard line. Eric Wright on the coverage. And there's strictly a timing position play where Fouts throws to a spot, and it's long in the air before Chandler makes his final move.
25-yard gain, and again, Chandler showing tremendous concentration on that football. Watch him as he arches back to the football. Now, he literally has to go to the ground. Eric Wright reaching out, the ball missing his fingertips by inches. But that's a tremendous throw, a finesse throw from Fouts, who lofted the ball up, almost hanging it out there for number 89, Wes Chandler.
Timeout call by San Diego. 50 seconds left, as you can see. The Chargers moving deep into San Francisco territory at the 30. 40 passes have been thrown in this first half. We knew it'd be in the air a lot. 40 have been thrown. I don't think we anticipated that the two pitchers would be quite so accurate. Lots of strikes by Fouts and Montana. 32 of 40 is the combined number. Pass completions, pass attempts. There's the total, but you'll give you time to read it through. Look at Fouts. He's only missed on 7 for 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. Montana's only missed on 1 pass, 178 yards. He's had less opportunities and a touchdown, and Montana scrambled for another score.
I've seen more passes thrown in a half, but I have never seen 2 more effective passing attacks in a half.
17-17, dead even. First down. Brooks. And Ron Ferrari throws him out of bounds. Oh, they have the clock moving. Ferrari, the rookie linebacker from Illinois. 6-yard play. And now time called San Diego. Well, a big NBC NFL doubleheader tomorrow, so be with us at 12:30. Then next week, let's look ahead. On Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern time for NFL 82, the New York Jets, a team that leads the NFL as a team in both offense and defense. Can't say much more than that. Richard Todd running that offensive scheme. Walt Michaels always known for his defensive coaching prowess. And they play Don Shula's Miami Dolphins down in the Orange Bowl, and that should be another outstanding game. Then after the football, we have basketball for you. Both those teams are ranked in the top 10 in both the UPI and AP polls. The Hawkeyes of Lute Olson and UCLA's Bruins, Larry Farmer, some tremendous talent. Two teams many figure will be right there when the playoffs in March come around. So UCLA, Iowa, following Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets.
Montana looks like he's moving around a little more spryly on the sideline. That's Sam Wyke on the left, man with the glasses. Quarterback coach, and who's helped Montana achieve some of that class.
42 seconds left, 2nd and 4. Brooks heading for the sidelines. Ronnie Lott was trying to tackle him inbounds. Brooks stops the clock but does not get the first down at the 21.
Ronnie Lott, a very physical player. We mentioned that he is playing with 2 thigh problems. He's got a bruised thigh and a strain on the other side, still showing fine speed as he stays with the speedster Brooks, runs him out of bounds. He's very physical too. Came close, I think, to possibly drawing a flag as he threw Brooks down well out of bounds.
Some argued last year was Lawrence Taylor of the Giants or Ronnie Lott of San Francisco, the top rookie in the NFL. Both received high laurels. 36 seconds left. Tie game, first half. Brooks has the first down and more to the 14-yard line, and San Diego immediately uses the timeout with 30 seconds. Make that 31 seconds officially remaining in the first half.
7-yard pickup. And again, you get the feeling of the versatility of these two offenses and the way they mix the plays. Coryell wanting to throw that run into the middle to confuse the defense, gets himself good field position, will take another shot in that 31 seconds, several shots you can be sure at the goal line. If they can't get it, that man, number 6, Rolf Bernierschke, will kick it away. And Bernierschke, the most accurate field goal kicker in terms of more than one season. That's career percentage, 73.98, 74% lifetime average for Bernierschke.
He's Rolf has kicked with a field goal today a total now of 92. You have to have 100 successful field goals to rank in the all-time record book in the NFL. As soon as he gets 8 more, he will then be the all-time NFL field goal kicker in terms of accuracy. Right now it's Tony Frisch, and he's in the high 60%. And you saw Bernierschke, they're almost 3 out of 4.
Kicking coming into today at a 75% clip on this season, so he's not lost any effectiveness even in spite of that very awkward cast that he must wear on his hand.
But the way these two teams move the ball, a three-pointer, you almost throw those back in. They want 7.
Who's going to score last?
First down. Last timeout has been used now by San Diego. They can't stop the clock except that way. An incomplete pass. That might have been a break for San Diego. The fact that had Brooks hung onto the ball, he would have been tackled at the 10, and the clock would have continued to run, and San Diego would have had to hurry just to stop the clock for a field goal.
One of the things that has impressed everyone in football over the last season and a half is the physical nature of this 49er defensive secondary. You'll get a great feeling for it here. That ball would have been caught if it weren't for the very aggressive hit planted on Brooks by number 22, Dwight Hicks.
26 seconds left from the 14-yard line. Open is Chandler. Touchdown. And again, that play has worked all day. 3 times and nearly a fourth. 2 of them for touchdowns. High lob pass by Fouts, giving Chandler a chance to fake the post move and then curl back outside. It's fooled the 49ers every time.
What a tremendous pattern by number 89, Wes Chandler. Winslow clearing the area for him, and you'll see Fouts wait. You'll give it a little pump inside and then loft it outside over the top. Chandler coming back, actually catching that football on his knees. Let's see the move here that gets him open. Wright giving him a good bump and then feeling him go inside, but Chandler breaks back out to the outside just perfectly in time to meet that football.
Bernierschke has the extra point, and San Diego has made it 24-17. Joe Montana will be pressed for time. 20 seconds left for San Francisco. The 49ers have 2 timeouts left. Chandler apparently shaken as he accepted that ball, then took a lick by the 49er defensive backs.
Some very, very aggressive hitting all over the field today. Let's go back and look at that pattern again. You'll see contact in the early going from Eric Wright right here. Watch Wright as he'll take him as he comes off the line. He'll give him a good chuck. Now Chandler is trying to drive him down, get him twisted. Now Wright right here will turn his head. You see him turn his head right there. Now watch Wes Chandler turn back outside. The ball already in the air, and he's got plenty of room to make the catch. Boy, that's absolutely the epitome of a timing pattern. Get the defender to turn his head. Ball is in the air. He didn't know where Wes Chandler went.
And Merlin, a very impressive drive again by San Diego. 85 yards, 11 plays, used up most of the clock and got the 7 and put the 49ers in a pinch because now only 20 seconds left as Bernierschke kicks it off, skids it down the middle. Ramson, tight end, takes it back to the 33-yard line, and San Diego Defense will come on, needing 14 seconds to stop San Francisco from tying it up. Here are the possessions by the Chargers. Could not move the ball on the first possession, but then touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. And look at the drives, 80, 69, 60, and 85 yards. Meanwhile, the 49ers have moved the ball this way. This is their 5th possession. Punt the first time, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
What a football feast.
Well, if you love offense, here's a triple left. This might be the old alley-oop. Go deep, and I'll throw it high and long. No, they fire to Clark on the opposite side, and he gets out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 6 seconds left. Perhaps time for Montana to hit a 10, 15-yard out and then get worse in the game.
Both Montana and Dwight Clark have had to leave the game for injuries, and yet both of them are right on target here. Little stutter step, breaking to the outside. That reminiscent a little bit as he goes in the air of the great catch he made against the Dallas Cowboys. A look at Montana, who appears to be recovered. Quick drop back, side saddle drop back, as opposed to Fouts shuffling back, and throws that ball out and right on target.
Joe Montana goes into the locker room at halftime, Earl, and he says, well, let me see. Let me look at my numbers. I'm 16 for 17. I scored 1 touchdown running. I've thrown for another, thrown for almost 200 yards, and we're trailing by 7.
You know, the thing that is interesting to me in watching the quality of the defensive play, these two defenses are playing aggressive, hard-hitting football. They're not hitting a couple of slouches out there, and yet this has been totally an offensive show in the early going.
Wilson, Young, and Russ Francis all to the left and all going down in tandem, and there's that high rainbow.
Big Ben.
Incomplete, and that is the end of the first half, as Montana only a second incomplete pass of the first 2 quarters.
It's designed to be batted into the air in the hopes that one of those receivers will end up with it in his hands.
Yeah, the two teams, those receivers especially, they have to lie down and get their feet up. They've done a lot of running in this first half.
Nick, one critical question for the second half. The 49ers have not played well in the second half since the strike. Can they continue the pace in this game?
The score at the intermission. The Chargers 24. The 49ers 17. NFL 82 follows. Like Koufax and Gibson in a National League game of the 70s or 60s. Fouts versus Montana. They've not disappointed. Each man has driven his team to a score on their last possessions. First time they both had to punt. Since then, every time they got the ball, they got something, and it's Montana's turn. He and the 49ers will get the ball to start this second half, trailing 24-17.
Dick, they have not been cheap scores. They have worked their way down to earn them. Let's look quickly at the most impressive stats you may see ever in a game. 2 teams just exploding on offense. 241 yards passing for the Chargers, 205 for the 49ers. Both low rushing numbers, 59 for the Chargers, but 29 for the 49ers. But they haven't had to run. They've mixed the run at times. They've used the screen play and the draw play to keep the pressure off their quarterbacks.
Bernurska's kick high and short. Bill Ring at the 12. And he's met solidly at the 25-yard line by Pete Holohan of the San Diego Chargers. First down for Montana and the 49ers. Montana needs only 95 yards to set a new NFL record. That would be 5 consecutive 300-yard passing games. He has Jeff Moore, Bill Ring, unheralded running backs behind him. His receivers, his favorite, Dwight Clark, still the NFL leading receiver. Charlie Young, the tight end. We're also seeing Russ Francis, Freddie Solomon, the other wide receiver, with Mason Ayers, Quillen Cross, and Fawnhorst protecting him. From the 25. Going deep. Solomon. Oh, broken up at the last moment by Mike Williams. Just when it appeared Solomon had that ball in the dead run for a touchdown.
Williams coming in over the top to bat that ball away.
Williams part of that San Diego defense. Neither defensive teams outstanding in that first half. Leroy Jones, Louis Kelcher, Gary Johnson, Keith Ferguson trying to apply pressure on Montana with King, Thrift, and Lowe, the linebackers. And at the corners, Jeff Allen and Mike Williams with Tim Fox and Bruce Laird at safety. It's interesting that neither team recorded a sack in the first half, and neither team had an interception, despite the fact that it was all passing. Trailing by 7, Montana. Complete to Clark. First down at the 40. 15 more yards for Montana. He's only 80 shy of a new record.
Dick, we talked about the pressure, applying pressure on the quarterback. Both coaches talked about that as being critical in this game, and both have seen outstanding jobs by their offensive line so far. The San Francisco 49ers have been sacked 15 times coming into this game, an average of 3 times a game. And as you said, perfect so far in this game.
First down. Francis intercepted. He can run with it yet. That's Jeff Allen, a rookie. Nothing but red shirts at the 40-yard line. So one of the few misfires by a quarterback today. Pass was overthrown to Francis and right into the arms of Jeff Allen, the rookie, his first NFL interception.
You saw Montana under pressure from 79, Gary Big Hands Johnson, loft the ball over the top. He simply overthrows Russ Francis. And Francis has no chance at the football. Allen actually knocked down by Lyndon King, number 57, still manages to hang on to the football, and the Chargers get the first break of the second half and the first turnover of the game.
See, a trickle of blood under the eye of Montana apparently was hit. First down at the 41 for San Diego. Fouts comes out gunning. Knocked away from Winslow. Good defensive play by Carlton Williamson. University of Pittsburgh, second-year safety.
Winslow picking another position in this play. We've seen him at wide receiver, at tight end. In this case, he comes out of the defensive back, or the offensive backfield, into the defensive backfield. Watch the play by Carlton here. Reaching across with the inside hand. Picture perfect play by the defensive back. Hacksaw Reynolds, number 64, there as an interested onlooker.
Muncie carries for 4 yards. Third down and 6. Ronnie Lott spearheaded the defensive charge. Bob Horn, 55, an ex-Charger, also in on the tackle.
A couple of factors which may come into play in the second half, Dick. One of them will be physical conditioning, because we have to wonder at what shape these teams are in. It may differ.
I'd like to comment on this, Merlin. 300-yard passing games career. Fouts, the leader, broke Johnny Unitas' mark a couple of weeks ago. Sonny Jurgensen third. There's a postscript to that statistic. We'll give it after the play. 3rd and 6. Complete to Winslow. First down as he drags Williamson to the 44. The postscript is, do you know the man that Dan Fouts, when he became the starting quarterback with the San Diego Chargers 8 years ago, who was, or was it 9? Who was the starting quarterback at that time for San Diego? It was Johnny Unitas that he replaced with the Chargers.
Kellen Winslow coming to the inside. Watch how quickly he drives inside on this play. The ball is already in the air on about his 3rd step. He pulls it in. He's already got first down yardage. Carlton Williamson coming up from the secondary, but too late to stop it.
Open is John Capoletti, and that's going to be close to another first down inside the 35-yard line. And down is Winslow. He's up now and okay.
Winslow took a shot on the outside on that particular play. Dan Fouts does something interesting as he goes back. He looks at his first receiver, and then if it's not there, he's gone just like that. And the ball is in the air very often to the second receiver more quickly than most quarterbacks could get it off to the first receiver. Reading the defense, seeing his receiver, seeing the field. One of the most remarkable quarterbacks I've ever had a chance to watch. And I worked against him for a while. I didn't like that either.
Just inches shy of a first down with second down coming up for Fouts. There's so many. It's such a small world, the world of sports. Fouts grew up here in this city. His idol was John Brody. He was a ball boy at Kezar Stadium when that was the home field of the 49ers. And his dad, Bob, was a San Francisco 49er play-by-play announcer. So his roots are here, and he's trying to beat his old team today.
And he was trained by Walsh as a quarterback.
The coach of San Francisco. Keep going. It just all runs together. See how Fouts uses this extra down. 2nd and inches. He's going to just take it right now. Capoletti gets the first down at the 33. I guess 2nd and short has almost become so predictable. You go for the bomb, so now it's gone back the other way. Get the first down and start it all over again. 1st and 10.
I asked Bill Walsh if he thought Fouts was the best quarterback in football. And his answer was interesting. He said, Yes, if he has time to throw. If you get pressure on him, he is not as effective as Ken Anderson, who has more mobility and can do more in the pressurized situation with the football.
Both pupils of Walsh when he was the assistant at Cincinnati. Anderson was in his classroom. That's Winslow. He's to the 17, and at times there's a flag going down, and it would appear at a time where you'd expect a face mask. 16 more yards to Winslow, or will it count? No, apparently it's against Winslow. At least the way he's staring in at the officials in this discussion.
Winslow, a very physical receiver. They're going to be called for a personal foul. This is not going to be before the catch, something he must have done after the catch.
As he was being tackled, apparently.
John Coryell can't believe that. I don't think I've seen that.
Winslow noted for his aggressive style. Over 250 pounds.
Came into this game anticipating that he would be treated roughly. And I think willing to mix it up. Well, he said that in the pregame show. He said, I'll give them a piece of what they give me.
15 yards back to the 31.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 80 of the offense during the run. Still first down.
Let's look at Winslow off the line in isolation. Dwight Hicks, the man that will come up and be a part of this tackle. Look for it carefully now.
Through that right forearm.
That's against the rules, Kellen.
17-yard pass. It counts. 15-yard penalty. So it's first down and 8 for the first down. Bouts to Joyner. Nicely done by number 21, Eric Wright, as he breaks up the pass. Joyner thought there was early contact.
We've heard a lot of criticism. We've seen the commissioner suspend and fine players in the last few weeks. Defensive players coming in at him. Again, let's take a look at Winslow and watch what happens. Watch the elbow right here, throwing it right there, right to the head. That's what they got him for, throwing that right elbow to the head of the tackler.
Boy, off that helmet of the defensive player, that's a good way to break your forearm.
Not smart.
Second and 8. All the time in the world, and look who's there at the other end. Mr. Kellen Winslow. He's only in his 4th season, fans, is Winslow. And the man, remarkably, is just going to break all the receiving records if he stays healthy.
Winslow driving across to the inside. You saw the hand go in the air. He was trying to draw the attention of his quarterback. Look at his leg. He's bent over a flexible athlete. Looks like he may have hurt his leg a little bit. He's coming off the field. His leg bent underneath him as he was tackled on that play.
7 catches today, 33 on the year. In his 4th year, he's already over 200 catches, as is Dwight Clark of San Francisco. Joyner not able to hang on to that one as Lynn Thomas broke it up. Talk about Charlie Joyner. He had just very quietly moved up the list of all-time pass receivers. He has 1 catch today. That gives him 516 in his career. He needs 5 more to tie Bobby Mitchell for the number 9 spot all-time.
In his 14th year, still one of the finest conditioned athletes I've ever seen. And I mentioned conditioning earlier. So far, the San Diego Chargers showing that they can stay on the pace. They'll have to keep an eye on them as we stretch into the 3rd and finally the 4th quarter.
Joyner in motion. 2nd and 10. It's Chandler. Did he catch it? Yes. Oh, my. 3 touchdowns. The hat trick for Chandler.
Eric Wright has to be saying, why me? Why me? The 3rd time today that he has been hand-to-hand with number 89, Wes Chandler. Now watch him. Eric Wright makes a tremendous reaction, goes up with Chandler. The ball bounces away. Chandler will not lose sight of the ball, loops it around his helmet, and still maintains control of it.
Great coverage. Our NBC crew here, we had that one dead on. And Chandler, 3 touchdowns today, 7 catches in all. And that just a classic example of concentration by the receiver. Biggest lead of the game as Bernerska adds the extra point. So the pass interception as Montana threw a bit long for Francis, and then Fouts takes his team the other way, and they lead by 14.
Its designation, Minolta Program System X700. It is computerized automation or total creativity. If you choose, you set nothing, even with flash. It is unmanned 35mm photography where camera is robot. It is quartz calendar dating, the Minolta X700, winner of the first European Camera of the Year award. Only from the mind of Minolta. Some things speak for themselves.
Things have been hot here for the first half and the start of this third quarter at Candlestick, and today's game brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like their outstanding value. By Midas. Trust the Midas touch for all your exhaust and brake needs. And by the new Bola family of imported wines. You can always trust the taste of a Bola. Dan Fouts, another touchdown pass, his fourth of the game, 3 to Wes Chandler. San Diego kicks off with a 14-point lead. Bill Ring at the 2. Straight up the middle to the 35. Dwight Scales and the kicker Panersko, the only white jerseys left. McPherson made the stop for San Francisco, and we have a timeout. 10 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter. San Diego leads by 14.
Experience one of the best-selling cars in the world. Experience the outstanding performance of the 1983 Mazda GLC with state-of-the-art front-wheel drive, 1.5-liter overhead cam engine, patented independent rear suspension. Mazda GLC, a real driving experience. And a value that's an experience in itself. The more you look, the more you like the Mazda experience.
Introducing a home video recorder that expands your world of TV. Panasonic Omnivision expands recording time to 8 hours with an 8-hour tape. This VHS video recorder expands every motion with slow motion, stops time with freeze frame, and finds exact scenes with OmniSearch. This video recorder, when connected to your hi-fi, even expands sound to stereo.
It's amazing what Panasonic did to Regivision.
Omnivision.
Kick off your New Year's Day with the biggest bowl bonanza ever. First, the Fiesta Bowl. Then the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Followed by the Orange Bowl. All this without ever changing your dial on NBC Sports New Year's Day.
10:19 left in the third quarter. San Diego leads by a couple of touchdowns. Going to be my pleasure tomorrow to be down at Anaheim Stadium. They're going to take that number 74 and retire it for the Los Angeles Rams.
Put it up on the shelf. Well, I'd like to tell you, I would like to have played with the intensity of Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer, number 37, a man that you'll see right here in the center of your screen, coming up over the top with an incredible play on special teams. Watch him just sacrifice his body here. Just throws himself into the play. Comes down. You think his back's going to be sore tomorrow, Dick?
35-yard line. San Francisco with the ball. Plenty of time left. 10 minutes plus in the third quarter. And they come out with a run. Jeff Moore kicking his way out to the 41-yard line. Moore's a nice story. Waived by Seattle last year. Didn't play most of last year. Just off looking for work and tried to appeal to various NFL teams. And finally was San Francisco's Bill Walsh who gave him a shot. And it's paid off. He has 6 touchdowns, make it 7 with 1 today to lead San Francisco.
And I'm sure his old team, the Seattle Seahawks, under new coach Mark McCormick, would love to have him back.
This time it's Bill Ring into San Diego territory. And a first down at the 47 before Tim Fox can make the tackle.
I said Mark McCormick. I meant Mike McCormick.
Fox, who has found a home. And Bill Ring. Oh, you could just see in the introductions his first NFL start. When he introduced him, he ran out and was flying. His teammates had to catch him.
Did you hear the reception he got from the crowd here?
It's terrific.
A local favorite. They love him.
A lot like Hank Bauer. He's a guy that's always given them all he has. Montana to Earl Cooper, his first reception, and the big fullbacks to the 36-yard line, and a first down, 11 more yards. So Cooper, who had been replaced by Ring in the starting lineup. There's the San Diego bench, and on that bench is the equipment man, Sid Brooks, who was featured in our Domino Championship. Oops, that's what's missing.
You notice he's without mustache. He came in with the mustache. He bet his mustache against Dennis McKnight's goatee, and as the loser, they shaved it off.
You can imagine that was a lot of fun, too. First down, San Francisco. Open Cooper. Tried for the one-handed catch, couldn't quite pull it in. Dewey Selman on the coverage for San Diego.
San Diego Chargers extremely fortunate on that play. Jeff Allen, number 27, the left corner, had fallen down. Had Cooper been able to catch that football, he may well have gone into the end zone.
Cooper, who caught 83 passes 2 years ago to lead the NFC, was second to Winslow. There's a clean-shaven Brooks. And last year had 51 catches as Dwight Clark won the team honor with 85. Intercepted almost by Allen. That was the same play, off the fingertips and almost right into Allen's arms. You see Montana with that bruise under the left eye.
Montana taking a shot somewhere along the line as we look at the quarterback's numbers for the day. Fouts at 309 yards, 24-35. Joe Montana, still exceptional numbers, 18 of 24 for 222 yards. His completion lifetime stats are impressive too, aren't they, Dick?
63.7% lifetime. He's higher than that this year, over 64%, and will be even higher after today. Ring in motion, an unusual set. Montana able to get it to Clark at the 30. It won't be a first down. As 51 Woody Lowe, and Clark said, hey, you had me tackled. How long are you going to push me back? Ackerman, number 91, was in on the quarterback, Montana again.
Joe Montana doing a brilliant job of escaping the rush. As he gets back in there, Ackerman, number 91, gets a hold of his foot. Montana maintains his balance and is literally throwing, going to the ground, gets it into the hands of his receiver. He does that week in and week out. People say he's an awkward thrower, doesn't have the arm. I got to tell you, he's got a powerful arm. And of course, that's a man right there who knows how to get open and get the catch.
They're going for it. 4th and 3 at the 29. Complete to Moore. He's got it. First down. Bill Walsh with a gamble here in the third quarter. Did not go for the long field goal. He got 4 yards when he needed 3. It's a first down. There's that little nickel and dime pass offense that pays a dividend.
And you've got to believe that on his chart, he had written down, when I need that extra 4 yards, I go to the right side. I go at Jeff Allen, who tends to play deep. I put somebody in front of him. I can pick up my 4 yards. And Tom Bass is saying, you got to tighten up on him.
7:21 left in the third quarter. San Diego leads 31-17. Moore for 3 to the 22-yard line. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
NBC for Southern Nevada, KVBC, TV3, Las Vegas.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Candlestick Park, San Francisco. Sellout would appear around 60,000 fans. Joe Montana and Dan Fouts. Everyone looked for a big passing day, and they've not been disappointed. But Dan Fouts, with 4 touchdown throws, has led San Diego to a 31-17 lead. Montana completed the first 15 passes that he threw, but Fouts seems to have been inspired by the challenge of the younger Montana, who's trying to drive for a touchdown that would cut San Diego's lead. Completes it to Moore. 15. He's to the 14. First down.
Walsh designing plays to take advantage of the running skill of Moore. Actually ran the defenders off with the speed of Ronaldo Nehemiah, who streaked out. Moore just came down, looped to the outside, has got room to run, gets a couple of extra yards, finally goes out of bounds. Look at Nehemiah now, number 83. He's the man that opens it up for the play. Sprinting down the field. You see Moore just drifting in behind him.
Man who can run 9.2 in the 100. You know you got to respect him.
I'll back off too.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Solomon.
There is no panic in San Francisco. Bill Walsh again showing his cool on the sideline, and Joe Montana his ability to come back from behind. Freddie Solomon, obtained from the Miami Dolphins a number of years ago, just straight down and across the middle, and the football could not have been placed in his hands with more precision.
Wersching adds the extra point. A 66-yard drive for San Francisco in 10 plays. And San Diego's lead is cut to 7.
And why was he open? A look at the overall zone. Now watch Solomon swing down from the outside. Look at the opening in the center. He'll cut now across the middle, gets in between two defenders, and he has the touchdown.
Two great passers on center stage, Fouts and Montana, and it's down to a 7-point lead.
Some things speak for themselves.
Experience the 1983 Mazda GLC. A unique front-wheel drive economy car with new, unusually comfortable seats. 5-speed overdrive, split fold-down rear seats, and radial tires. Mazda GLC. Its performance may surprise you, but its outstanding value should be no surprise at all. The more you look, the more you like the Mazda experience.
A Saturday edition of NFL 82. Michaels and the hard-hitting Jets battle Shula and his Miami Dolphins. Then, the fast-breaking UCLA Bruins take on the Hawkeyes of Iowa on NBC Sports next Saturday.
Since the strike, the 3 previous games, San Diego scoring only 1 touchdown. They've been outscored 41-16 in the second half. You recall they were ahead of the LA Raiders 24-0 and lost that game when the Raiders came back in the second half.
And there have been questions about their physical well-being, about the kind of condition they're in. So far, we've not seen anything to indicate that here, but we'll watch as we go through this third and fourth quarter.
Jim Jodat, recently acquired by San Diego, gets the ball back to the 30-yard line. Mike Wilson makes the tackle for San Francisco. Now it's Fouts' turn.
Jim Jodat, one of those crazy special teamers in San Diego. They're teasing Hank Bauer. They said, hey, we just got a guy that's better looking than you are, faster, and just as crazy, and he's got hair.
Jodat and Bauer, that's right. You put a little more blonde hair on Bauer, they would look a lot alike.
If Jodat was in Los Angeles, they'd say, who dat? Jodat?
At the 31, now the Candlestick crowd trying to help San Francisco's defense. Fouts to Winslow, and a first down at the 47-yard line in a crowd of red jerseys. Winslow has 23 more yards.
Fouts looking the defense off on that play. You watch him, his head will be on one side of the field. He'll come all the way around and swivel and throw to the other side of the field. Makes it so tough for the defensive backs to read the quarterback. He threw that ball right on target to his big tight end, Kellen Winslow.
2 top pass yardage leaders in the NFL. Muncie, a rare run attempt. Not much there, maybe a yard. Fred Dean replacing his shoe, the former San Diego Charger defensive end. Of course, his addition to the 49er club last year, many regard that as one of the key reasons for their tremendous success.
One of the reasons he is not having great success this year, an injury to a teammate, Dwayne Board. who played on the same side with him. He's in there by himself now with young players, and it's more difficult for him.
Not much rushing on either side. So back to the air, Fouts, and he finds Joyner at the 38-yard line. And they're going to mark it progress 37. That's going to be another first down. As Fouts now, with 11 yards, has 341 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and we still have 4 minutes plus left in the third quarter. I know in some ways people tuning in might say, hey, a lot of numbers. They're killing us with all those numbers, but these are rather startling passing statistics. And I guess what makes it rather nice is everyone expected coming to this game or watching this game, you'd see this kind of aerial show, and that's what you're getting. Brooks.
Good run. Oh, lost his footing.
Right there to secure the stop, just when it appeared that Brooks might get outside for a long gainer. Good block by Billy Shields, the left tackle, number 66 from Georgia Tech.
Brooks, a very strong player. He does not look to have that kind of strength. He looks fragile, but he's not afraid to hit you in there and has great speed. Chargers have not quite found a way to utilize him, although he gets all kinds of all-purpose yardage as a pass receiver and a kick returner, as well as a runner.
Incomplete. Ron Ferrari, number 54, one of the rare times we've seen one of the linebackers blitz for San Francisco, and Fouts saw it coming, dumped it off to a safety valve, but incomplete. There's Ferrari from Illinois.
Mike White, his coach at Illinois, said he was the wildest special teamer he'd ever seen. He certainly has earned his stripes here. Plays on the passing downs because of his fine speed.
3rd and 5. Triple right. Throws underneath the Winslow. He stops short of the first down. Keena Turner from Purdue made the hit.
Fouts would like to have been able to get this ball into Kellen Winslow's hands a little earlier, hoping that Winslow could pick up enough yardage with his running ability for the first down. But Keena Turner, reading the play very quickly, put a real crunch on him and shuts him down. It'll be 4th down and a field goal attempt of just under 50 yards from Rolf Benirschke.
No good. Just missed to the right. So this candlestick crowd, as Benirschke misses from 50, realizes a touchdown would tie it with 2:26 left in the quarter.
Now only Chrysler gives you 3 ways to save. 1. The only 10.9 financing on many new 83 American-built front-wheel drive cars and pickups. Ford and GM don't do that. 2. 10.9 financing on many new 82s and $300 to $1,000 back. 3. Every new American-built Dodge, Plymouth, and Chrysler car comes with 5-year, 50,000-mile protection. 3 ways to save, only from Chrysler.
Open a bottle of Suave Bola and delicious things happen. Savory veal things. Succulent chicken things. Delicate seafood things. Precisely what Franco Bola had in mind when he perfected the clean, crisp taste of Suave Bola. For family, guests, and people you'd like to be your guests. Suave Bola. Invite a couple of bottles to dinner. You can always trust the taste of a Bola.
Dan Fouts, who drove his team into field goal range, and Benirschke's kick had plenty of leg from 50 and just slid wide to the right. No good. So the score remains 31-24, and the 49ers have the ball at their own 32. Wilson in motion. Deep for Wilson. At the 40, incomplete. A fine try by the second-year man from Washington State.
Dick, that's the first drive since the opening drive first possession that San Diego has been stopped. You look at the length of those drives, and we showed you that earlier. 80, 69, 60, 85, 59, and finally a 28-yard drive that stopped with the missed field goal, but it had plenty of leg and just barely missed to the outside.
So San Francisco scoring on its last possession when Montana hit Solomon with a 14-yard touchdown. They trail by 7. 2:20 left, third quarter. Montana going to a secondary receiver. That's going to be close to a first down. Woody Lowe made the tackle on Dwight Clark right at the 10-yard mark.
One of the things that Dwight Clark has learned to do very well is to get free of the line of scrimmage, to get out of the traffic. You see him slipping between the two blockers right there, looping down, finding the empty spot in the zone. You saw his eyes just darting around. He's looking at those linebackers. Where are they? What do I have to do? Montana is brilliant at finding the space in front of the linebackers, between those linebackers, and of course his main ally there is Clark.
Going deep for Nehemiah. Incomplete at the 10-yard line. Actually, Montana, they say you can't outthrow Nehemiah. He did throw long, and the Chargers are looking for a pass interference call, a push on Nehemiah.
Jeff Allen down there saying, hey, he can't shove me, and Jeff is probably right. It looked like Nehemiah bumped him right at the end there. Bruce Laird, number 30, the man who made the loudest complaint, but it was actually Jeff Allen, number 27, that was bumped by Nehemiah.
Laird coming in to defend his young teammate.
You see it right there, and indeed he was bumped, but I'm sure the official who was straight behind the pass, watch it right here. You see the bump before the ball comes down, technically an interference call on the offensive team.
Montana to Solomon. Makes a nice catch on his knees at the San Diego 48-yard line. That'll be a yard short of a first down. Bruce Laird made the stop.
Talked about the aggressiveness of Kellen Winslow. Look at the aggressiveness of Dwight Clark, number 87. He's not going to take any part of that. Williams coming down. He said, hey, you bump me, I'll bump you. Now, he becomes a blocker at this point. I wonder what he's saying to him, Dick.
I don't think we really want to know. Clark, who has really won the favor of the San Francisco fans, not only because he's a great athlete and he led the team in receptions and made the big catch against Dallas that got San Francisco in the Super Bowl, but he's the only 49er that lives in the city of San Francisco. Bought an apartment there. Wide open is Ramson. Eason Ramson, the third tight end, all alone, first down.
Bill Walsh makes maximum use of all of his personnel. He shuffles people in and out. Number 80, Eason Ramson. Picked up in a trade a couple of years back. Watch him just loop down to the outside. Charlie Young, number 86, the two tight ends right in tandem. Ramson almost hiding behind Young, breaking to the outside. Nobody around. Number 30, Bruce Laird, coming up to make the stop, but not until he picked up the first down. Another quick look at it as the ball goes over the top to a wide open receiver.
First down at the 28. Montana nearing that record to Clark. Down at the 24. That's 4 more yards. Unofficially, that gives Joe Montana 290 yards today. 10 more, and he'll be the first passer in NFL history to throw for over 300 yards 5 consecutive games. He's tied with Dan Fouts coming into this one.
You watch again as the San Diego defense struggles to try and take the impetus away from the 49er offense, but Montana just relentlessly drives down that field.
This could be for that record. And is. Dwight Clark. How appropriate. His favorite target and the leading receiver in the NFL should catch the ball. And when they put that up on the scoreboard, you'll see quite a reaction.
Montana getting the pass off here. Blitz, 2 linebackers coming in. Montana reads the blitz and knows that Dwight Clark will be one-on-one on Jeff Allen. Indeed, fires the ball out there. Easy reception, easy first down.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Joe Montana has just passed for 300 yards plus straight games, a new NFL record, but more importantly, his team still trails by a touchdown, but it's San Francisco on the drive.
Imagine having time in the palm of your hand to be able to team up with the greatest heroes and make love to the prettiest heroines.
If anybody knows women, it's Bog.
So jump in on the action, adventure, and fun.
It's all in a day's work.
Have the time of your life with Voyagers, Sundays at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on NBC.
The new Holiday Casino presents Rocky Santa's Wild World of Burlesque. Still only $6.95, including 2 drinks. Starring the Fabulous Walkers, the Zany Bernard Brothers, Exotic Lynette Leah, the Osmani Sisters, Jane Emmett and Nikki, and the exciting holiday dancers in a salute to George M. Coran. The new Holiday Casino with their famous $1.17 deluxe breakfast, big $2.47 luncheon buffet, and super $3.47 dinner buffet, and complete menu service in the new Galley Restaurant. The new Holiday Casino. Call 732-2411.
This Christmas, Hurtis and Hitachi have joined forces in offering the most complete line of television, video recorders, and video cameras. Hitachi for televisions, like this 19-inch remote control set with full solid-state circuitry, or this convenient portable unit with unmatched picture clarity. Hitachi for video recorders with programmable freeze frame and remote features. Hitachi for all your home video needs, from our portable video recorder, an accomplishment in engineering, to our state-of-the-art video cameras. Hitachi and Hurtis. Hitachi at Hurtis. Hurtis, highest quality at the lowest prices.
Happy Hanukkah from Channel 3.
Fourth quarter, as the shadows have grown here at Candlestick Park in beautiful San Francisco on a classic day. Temperature in the 60s, not a cloud to be found, no wind, perfect conditions, and we've had a most exciting offensive show. Montana and Fouts, the Chargers and 49ers, and San Francisco looking for a tying score. It's Bill Ring to the 8-yard line. Ring starting his first NFL game. BYU.
Explosive runner. He runs so hard that the 49ers are afraid he might hurt himself. Explodes into the secondary. Number 59, Cliff Thrift, the middle linebacker, finally leaping over to get a hold of him, but not until he'd ripped off a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3.
Ring again. Ring has a touchdown! Extra point try to tie the game. He missed it. He missed it to the left. The drama of all the 49er excitement broken. A shocking extra point miss by Ray Wersching.
Wersching literally automatic in those extra points. And yet, at a time when he could bring this game back to a tie, hooks it to the left and hooks it away.
So the good news for San Francisco, they score a touchdown. The bad news, they still trail.
This Bud's for everyone who's ready for the action when the whistle blows.
For you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do. This Bud's for you.
You're about to witness a new creation, a whole new class of automobile, the Chrysler E-Class. Chrysler's largest front-wheel drive sedans, with elegance, luxury, with room for 5, 6, even 7. The E-Class sedan, so technologically advanced, it monitors itself to keep you secure.
All monitored systems are functioning.
Surprisingly priced. They are protected for 5 years or 50,000 miles. The Chrysler E-Class.
Sunday Boggs head over heels.
Good move.
trying to save a damsel in distress.
To the new Robin of Sherwood Forest.
Voyagers.
Ray Worthing, after 17 in a row, the automatic, the extra point, hooks it to the left, and San Diego maintains a lead 31-30.
You can't sense the emotion in the man, but he's got to be eating himself up inside right now.
He sends a little dying spiral down to Severs, one of the up men, and the tight end for San Diego, all the way to the 39-yard line. So Worthing misses the extra point, and then his low kick took a perfect one hop into the arms of Severs. Ron Ferrari made the tackle. Let's go back to Bill Ring, a happy man for a moment.
He earns this touchdown with second effort, breaking inside very quickly into the secondary. Watch the play here. That's Tim Fox, number 48, the man that had a hold of him, and the Ring would not be denied the touchdown.
Now it's San Diego with a 31-30 lead, 14 minutes left in the game. Fouts to Joyner, first down at the 46 of San Francisco. And Fouts is on his way to a 400-yard game. Dwight Hicks and Ronnie Lott made the tackle.
Statistics for the 49ers after that last drive. Again, you see the kind of success they've had in moving the ball down the field today. Long drives, not quite as many long drives as the San Diego Chargers. You see a punt there. You see one interception. Every other drive has ended with a score.
Remarkable, with as many passes thrown, they've had only one turnover, one interception. Joyner again, and he's all the way to the 18 of San Francisco. Eric Wright with a tackle.
How many quarterbacks would even dare to throw that pass? There were three defenders on top of Charlie Joyner. Three defenders on top of Joyner, and Fouts split the three of them with a perfect pass. A chance for you to see it. Fouts will get this ball off. Now look at it right here. You'll find yourself looking at Joyner. One man inside, one man outside, and a third defender just to the side of your screen right there, and yet the pass thrown perfectly inside.
Well, Fouts tries the run, and Muncie gets nothing. Right into the arms of Fred Dean, number 74. Dean, like Ed Jones, took up a little boxing at one time. The NFL had a boxing championship, remember, in the offseason. Eventually was won by Ross Browner of the Cincinnati Bengals. They were all heavyweights, naturally. Dean said he had one win, one loss, and one tie, and one chance at ever doing it again. He said he retired right there.
Chuck Studley talks about him as being the best, not only the best athlete on this defensive team, the best athlete overall on this entire 49er team.
Second and long. To the end zone. There's Chandler. Almost intercepted. As Chandler looking for his fourth touchdown catch today, and Lott denies.
Let's look at the knockaway there as Chandler appeared to have an opening. Ronnie Lott jumping high in the air. For a moment there, he had an interception. Ball bounces away, and Chandler, who had never taken his eyes off the football, actually got a finger on it before it went to the ground.
Lott, who was brilliant as a rookie last year, 7 interceptions, returned 3 of them for touchdowns. This year it isn't breaking quite the same way. Knocked it down, but last year he intercepted that ball. Third down. Dean had a hand on him. Fouts can't find Chandler. The first time that San Francisco has gotten Fouts on the ground.
Very close to getting Fouts, and he's angry at himself for missing that pass. Had a receiver open. Let's take a quick glance at Ronnie Lott, number 42. The thing that surprised me is that his coaches say he'll be a better safety someday than he is a cornerback. Running stride for stride there with Chandler, but Chandler might have been able to catch that ball had it been properly thrown. The ball short hop, didn't get there. And of course, Ronnie Lott extremely pleased about that.
41-yard field goal try. Perfect. After missing from 50, Benerska connects from 41 yards.
Like a good golf swing. Smoothly right through the center of those goalposts.
12 minutes left. San Diego by 4.
Recently, a landmark football game was played. Landmark not because of the way it was played on the field, but because of the way it was played on TV. You see, this was the country's first network telecast transmitted over cables made up of hair-thin optical fibers. Cables which will eventually carry thousands of times more information without taking up any more space. G? No. GTE.
Disc photography by Kodak. It's changing the way people take pictures.
Picture a brand new world.
The Kodak disc camera advances the film automatically, so you can get the pictures you may have missed before. And it knows when to flash, and can flash again in 1 1/3 seconds. All you do is push one button. The Kodak Disc 4000 camera. Bet you know someone who'd love one.
Picture a brand new world.
Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. By Natural Light, the beer with a taste for food. And by De Beers, the name that stands for diamonds. The perfect gift for any occasion. A diamond is forever. 12 minutes and 3 seconds left. San Diego 34. San Francisco 30. This is Dana McLemore to the 20. 25. And close to the 30. Ray Preston at Syracuse led the charge downfield for San Diego. Hank Bauer was in the middle of things again.
We talk about the insanity of a few special teams player. Let's look at number 37, Hank Bauer, coming down the field on special teams, right in the middle of your screen, right there. Take a look at him as he goes down, gets by one man right there. Ed Judy, number 50, on the ground, gets up, gets back again, takes a second shot, throws a second one down. He wants to fight. Then he says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
There he is over here, you guys. Here he is.
Montana back to work. Incomplete to Ring, and it went through the arms of Lyndon King. 57, the linebacker for San Diego, who has the honor of being retired as the all-time Meadow Muffin celebrity champion. He once threw a count chip in a contest 203 feet. Now that's a long ball, or long toss, regardless of what you're throwing.
Quarterback statistics for the game to this point. Fouts 385, Montana 306, 691 yards passing.
It has been a record-setting day. Montano completed his first 15 to start the contest. 2nd and 10. Down the middle, Francis. First down at the 45 of San Diego.
We mentioned the style of Montana as he drops back. Fouts a shuffler. Montana runs back. On that play, a little play-action fake. And, of course, in this situation, Francis splitting the zone in between Woody Lowe, number 51, and the outside safety, number 30, Bruce Laird. And look at that eye starting to puff a little bit more as Joe Montana maintains his great cool. I think for a young quarterback, he has more of that than any I've ever seen.
That's what the opponents of Montana acclaimed as well. They can't believe how a man just in his 4th year shows so much poise. He's like a 10-year veteran, as is Fouts. Checked off, his man was covered, so he scrambles. Gets to the 36-yard line. A nice pickup of about 8.
I asked Bill Walsh, as we mentioned, who trained Anderson in Cincinnati and Fouts in San Diego, and now Montana. I said, how is he in growth? I mean, does he learn as quickly as the others? He said one thing he learned more quickly is to feel the rush and see the receiver. You can't see the rush and see the receivers at the same time. And he said Montana learned that more quickly than the other two.
He was an idol of, his idol was Joe Namath, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, which is near Joe's hometown of New Eagle, Pennsylvania. 2nd and 1, and a first down for Ring. He almost ran through that hole on his knees.
I'll tell you this, he runs with his heart, Dick.
He reminds me of a former teammate of yours, Lester Josephson.
He does. And reminds these San Francisco fans of Paul Hofer, a man who literally ran his body to pieces for these 49ers. They hope that doesn't happen to Bill Ring.
He's 5'10", 215 pounds, so solidly built, short, but certainly not small. First down, San Diego 30. Chargers lead by 4. 10 minutes left. Ring again. It's 5. Gary Johnson with a tackle. Ayers and Audick on that left side of the San Francisco line with some good wedge blocking. Let's look at the AFC standings. Of course, the top 8 teams will go into the playoffs. They're the teams with the best records: the Bengals, Raiders, Dolphins, Jets, and Steelers. Then the next group, San Diego in that 3-2 group. Though they lose today, 3-3, and now they're scrambling with the pack. A win puts them up in the high rent district. I know the team's in trouble. We'll show you the San Francisco NFC standings in a moment. 2nd and 5. Jeff Moore, and he has a first down. So 5 yards for Ring on first down, and Moore gets 6 on his carry.
I wonder when the last time San Francisco ran 3 running plays back to back.
That's an upset. NFC standings as the 49er fans cheer Montana. Dallas, Green Bay, Washington with the best records. Then the next group has Atlanta, New Orleans, St. Louis at 3-2. And finally, San Francisco's in that pack of 2 and 3. So a loss would be disastrous for San Francisco. 2 and 4. They may not make the playoffs even if they win all the rest. So they're not only fighting for the playoffs, but what little home field might be left. Ring, 4 carries in a row. And had it not been for the stumble, Ring had more yardage. He gained almost, well, it's a long 3. Call it 2nd and 7.
Interesting to look back just a week ago on a Thursday night game. These 49ers were running against a defense in L.A. that had given up a tremendous amount of yardage and were totally ineffective on the ground. Walsh said in his practice sessions this week he was confident that they could run against San Diego. And they've done it. They do not have a lot of yardage, but they have run the ball effectively in this game.
You heard the cheer. That was for Ring as he came out. Earl Cooper has replaced him, number 49. Charlie Young, first and goal at the 8-yard line.
John Coryell, intense coach of the Chargers. He watched this play, as you'll see. Charlie Young, number 86, coming right into your living room at home, catching a perfect bullet from Joe Montana.
Bruce Laird finally got him to the turf. Bill Walsh's 49ers driving for a potential score that would put them ahead. They trail 34-30 at the 8-yard line. Ring, and didn't work that time. As you saw Rick Ackerman in front and Big Hands Johnson from behind, and Cliff Thrift, the linebacker, filling the hole.
Thrift coming up in to put the clincher on him. You see Bill Walsh talking to Mike Wilson, number 85. They have tremendous confidence in that young man as well.
There's Bass, the defensive genius of San Diego, against Bill Walsh, the offensive cerebral leader of San Francisco.
Saw the defensive signals going into that embattled San Diego defense.
Blitz. Intercepted for a moment by Big Hands Johnson. That was the lineman's dream.
Gary Big Hands Johnson, number 79. That ball literally was in his hands before he knew it was even there, and I think it stuck momentarily and then fell away. He's standing there saying, "Oh, my chance for immortality." An 80-yard touchdown run.
He had a 55-yard touchdown with an interception against Seattle last year. Make that 79 was against Seattle. 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Clark! His 12th catch today. That's his career high.
As you get into the end zone, the field compresses. More defenders per square inch, but it didn't bother Montana. It didn't bother number 87, Dwight Clark, who found room to catch that ball just inside the end line. Now, you might say it shouldn't be a touchdown. They pushed him out. But once the ball is in and in control, it's a TD.
Wersching adds the extra point. The 49er bench following that last touchdown closely. It's 37-34, the 49ers. And Dwight Clark has his 13 catches today. And San Francisco is in front by 3.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. America's hottest selling new size pickup, Chevy S10, is now available in 2 new models, S10 Maxi Cab and S10 Blazer, all available with the revolutionary InstaTrack 4-wheel drive system. Chevy S10, from America's truck sales leader. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
More natural than natural light.
When football fans and food team up for tailgating time, what's more natural than Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch? The beer with a taste for food that just naturally leaves you room for more. So when you're going for that extra yard,
what's more natural than Natural Light?
Dan Fouts, University of Oregon, on the left, 10th year in the league. Man who broke all the National Football League significant records last year. Most passes, most completions, most yardage. Joe Montana, who has broken one of Fouts' records today. Just completed a touchdown pass to his favorite man, leading receiver, NFL, Dwight Clark. Clark, with 13 today, already has 45 catches in this shortened season. And now it's San Diego back to work. Jim Jodat to the 27-yard line. A field goal would tie it for San Diego. And we have plenty of time, 6.5 minutes remaining in a game. There's very few when you anticipate what could be a great matchup that live up to the billing. This one certainly has.
We couldn't have written a more exciting script, and we couldn't have found a more exciting cast.
Both passers have been on target, brilliant. And now it's Fouts. The crowd on the side of the Niners. Joyner, and that catch ties Charlie Joyner with Bobby Mitchell for the number 9 spot all time in NFL history. 521 receptions for Charlie Joyner.
14-year veteran, runs precision routes. One of the most dependable receivers ever in the NFL. He'll play tough, even when they deck him and knock him down. I'd say that's a fine man. You know, he works so hard with young receivers, too. He's a man who shares his knowledge with the young players, with people like Wes Chandler, Kellen Winslow when they came in. They look up to him as a leader, as a big brother, and he picked up, again, a very valuable first down there for his quarterback, Dan Fouts.
Yeah, it's so important for the coach to have the veteran player lead by example, and Joyner is one of those guys. As hard as he works in a game, you see the same man in practice. He just knows only one speed. First down, 38-yard line, San Diego. Oh, that was a little sidearm pass, incomplete. It was a forward pass. Muncy fell on it just in case. And a little came from the side, did Fouts. He's been throwing that overhand for a strike. He thought he might try put one from the sidearm position.
Kent Colby, is that?
He goes even lower than that. Ernell Durden.
Ernell Durden, former coach, Los Angeles Rams, for many years there in San Diego. You'll see signals coming in from the San Diego sideline from several people. They had some signals intercepted a couple of years ago by the Houston Oilers. They got a lot of people signaling over there.
2nd and 10. Fouts with a lot of time. That's Joyner. And he is all the way to the 18.
Crowd quiets down as they see Fouts get a lot of time to throw this football. The thing that's remarkable about this pass, 2 things. First, that Fouts has time to throw it, but watch the way he lofts it over the top. The ball almost comes straight down over the head of Dwight Hicks. No, that's Thomas, Lynn Thomas, number 28. Or is it Hicks? 22, I can't tell. 22, Hicks. Dropped it straight over his head into the waiting arms of Charlie Joyner.
Joyner passing Bobby Mitchell, number 9 all time with that catch. And for Fouts, he now has 438 yards today. Looking for more, it's Eric Sievers. And he's inside the 10-yard line. That'll be close to a first down.
Young receivers watching this game, Dick. Eric Sievers did something very bright on that play. He's in traffic. As the ball was thrown, instead of cutting diagonally across the field, he came back toward the ball to pick it up. Makes it very difficult to intercept. Maybe we can look at that as you see the tail end of this catch. Get a chance to look at it here. Just watch the end of it as he gets a chance to get this ball off. Now you'll see the receiver coming back right there into the traffic.
Back to the live action. Chuck Muncie is inside the 5-yard line on a quick hitter, and it's 1st and goal. San Diego at the 49er 4-yard line. Horn and Williamson made the tackle.
Bob Horn, a former San Diego Charger, shifting from the 3-4 or from the 4-3 defense to the 3-4 here, and they say he's going to be a good one here.
We are approaching an all-time record. The record is 98 passes combined in the game. Already 87 today. Nearly 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, and Fouts looking for the lead for San Diego. Muncie, maybe a yard. Clock running, 3:46, and now it stops.
I can't remember seeing a game, unless it was perhaps the San Diego Charger Miami Dolphin game, that great playoff game. I can't remember seeing a game where the pulse of the game continually stayed at such a high level.
There's the record all time when the Vikings played the Colts back in 1969. A 98 passes thrown. Could well break it today. 2nd and goal. That's Muncie. And the Chargers are back in front. 5 touchdown passes for Fouts. No matter what position he's in, he has been a happy, brilliant leader of this San Diego team.
I think he knew the minute he threw that football it was a touchdown if Muncie could catch it. And Muncie, showing his fine versatility as a runner and a catcher, swings to the outside. Now watch again as Fouts finesses this ball. It's got to be thrown over the top of the defender. Ed Judy, number 50, right there. The ball lofted over the top, dropping straight into the hands of Chuck Muncie. Beautiful finesse pass.
40-37. Of course, this extra point is crucial now as Bernerska will kick it out of Luther's hold, and now a 4-point lead. Had he missed it, then a field goal could have tied it. San Francisco, plenty of time. 3:22 left. Fouts has now thrown for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns to get the lead.
A diamond, a miracle. Every diamond is rare, but a diamond of a carat or more is only 1 in a million. And like love, becomes more precious with time. The diamond solitaire, born from the earth, reborn on a woman. An extraordinary diamond of a carat or more. Show the world you couldn't have made it without her.
Light up your eyes, unwrap your smiles. Let your arms undo the miles. Bring your heart back home and find that special face. Decorate your time with laughter. Let the hours live ever after.
In the past 40 years, Chevrolet has brought more people home for the holidays than anyone. Have a happy new year, America.
Kick off your New Year's Day with the biggest bowl bonanza ever. First, the Fiesta Bowl. Then the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Followed by the Orange Bowl. All this without ever changing your dial on NBC Sports New Year's Day.
That's a new way to signal touchdown.
And a very happy touchdown scorer in that box at the top of your screen in front of a hometown crowd. Went to school here at the University of California.
Approaching 1,000 yards of offense. Is the offense that good? The defense that bad? What is it? I want to ask you that question, Merlin. Here's the kick. Takes a San Diego bounce, and they'll take the touchback as McLemore kneels in the end zone. We're going to take a break. 3:15 remaining in regulation time. San Diego leading by 4 points.
We are USA 1. Taking charge, utilizing advanced engine technology in the front-wheel drive Cavalier. With a new high-compression, electronically fuel-injected 2-liter engine, an available 5-speed transmission, and a new lower price. Chevrolet's going to give the imports competition they haven't seen before. The new Cavalier from America's sales leader. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
What's more natural than natural light?
When the recipes call for hearty portions and holiday cheer, what's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch?
La 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 la.
The beer with the taste for food that just naturally leaves you room for more. When it's the season for second helping.
What's more natural than natural light?
3 minutes and 15 seconds, and get out the ointment, because those quarterbacks going to need a real good arm rub when this one's over. 88 passes have been thrown. Dan Fouts has set a new personal game record, 450 yards. 444 was his previous high. And now it's Joe Montana. Spotlight on the quarterback of the 49ers. Green to Ring. Good blocking and a nice move. Out of bounds, stops the clock at the 29-yard line. Gain of 9. That was the 90th pass of the game. Make it 89, now 90.
Excellent blocking by number 68, John Ayers, number 56, Fred Quillen from the inside as they came out in front of Ring. Take a look at them here as you see him coming to the outside. Little quick flick. They throw it over the top of the onrushing lineman. There's Ayers right there, 68, blocking on Woody Lowe. Knocks him down, stays on top of him. Ring gets to the outside, makes a good play out of it.
Ted Nathanson, our director, and Larry Cirillo, our producer, they just haven't missed a play. You've seen it from Ole Ingles. Great job from our cameraman. Montana. Incomplete as 59 Cliff Thrift swatted it away, incomplete. And it's not been an easy game to televise because that ball's in the air. You never know where it's going to go.
It certainly isn't. Dick, you asked a question a moment ago. Is it great offense or is it poor defense? I think on the field today, you've seen greater offense than defense. But these defensive teams have been playing their hearts out. No question that the quality of these two teams is in the offensive units. But their defenses have played hard and tough football today. The great yardage has been achieved because of extraordinary offensive performance.
Both quarterbacks, protected like fine crystal, have had their time. Jeff Moore, he didn't make the first down. That's a big defensive play by Don Coryell's Chargers. It appeared that San Diego stopped him short of the 30 on third down, and that would force a most interesting decision from Bill Walsh.
See a measurement, Randy Cross holding up his fingers less than a yard.
They'll go for it.
He's going to go for it.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. San Diego stops him. It could be the game.
First down.
Just across the 30-yard line on 4th and inches.
I think something else that's worth mentioning. I've always believed that teams tend to form themselves in the image of their coaches. Both these coaches consumed with offensive football and so bright in adjusting the offensive formations and using their offensive people, and they don't really want to worry about the defense. These teams have that same personality.
Coryell, who was brilliant as the head man of the St. Louis Cardinals with Jim Hart as his quarterback. The likes of Mel Gray. Metcalf. Those fine teams that won 3 divisional titles for St. Louis. Clock running at 2:10. Deflected by Woody Lowe. Beautiful play as Lowe racing back from his linebacker position. Clark had that taken right out of his hands.
Let's go down on the field and get into the action. Woody Lowe, number 51, right at the top of your picture there, is running back at full speed. His back is to the quarterback. He cannot see the football from that point on. Now watch him. Sticks his arm out, and deflects what would have been a sure reception.
2nd and 10. The ball inside the 31-yard line of San Francisco. Field goal won't do it for the 49ers. They need to get 7 out of this drive. Open is more, but Montana was under pressure from Ackerman, who's been the one Charger lineman who's put some heat on Montana today. There's a 2-minute warning. It comes at 1:57. San Diego in the lead. And now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes. We may have one ourselves.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1980, Bart Starr's Packers have a chance to beat the Bears in overtime. Chester Marcole's kick is up and blocked. The ball bounces back into Marcole's hands. Nothing for Chester to do now but tuck it in and run. He picks up a needed block along the way and cruises 25 yards into the end zone. The Packers win 12-6 on their own blocked field goal on the game's final play.
Why has the all-aluminum can become America's favorite recyclable beverage container?
Because aluminum cans stack so easily.
Stack? Because aluminum cans carry so easily. They're safe. They don't break.
Aluminum really protects the taste. Because we're able to recycle aluminum cans.
That's it! Shoppers love those stackable, lightweight, unbreakable, taste-protecting, recyclable all-aluminum cans! Yay!
If you like offense, and this has been your kind of game, and if you like records, certainly you'll be able to talk about this one. There have been several. Set 1 is the most completed passes ever in an NFL game. There have been 65 completions to break the old mark of 63. Jets in San Francisco 2 years ago.
Dick, I wonder, looking at the numbers, looking at the emphasis on passing, looking at the kind of defense that's been played here, what some of the pioneers of this game would have thought. What would Vince Lombardi would have thought about, what he would have thought about this game. They haven't been running to daylight here today.
They've been passing to it, and now it's Montana needing 10 yards on 3rd down from his 30. Both teams with 3 timeouts left.
Oh.
Knocked down by Wilbur Young, number 99, the 6'6" defensive lineman. And Tom Bass's defensive unit now has the 49ers in a pinch hit them 10.
Wilbur Young, number 99, has been playing all day in place of Louis Kelcher. Kelcher's not seen the field, perhaps because his coach is a little angry at him. He's overweight, weighs about 330 pounds, but Big Wilbur got up, got his hand in front of that one. Big play, 4th and 10.
And timeout called by Bill Walsh on the sidelines. He's called Montana over. Stops the clock with 1:54. And San Diego in the lead, 41-37. The Chargers apparently will see San Francisco go for it on 4th and 10. There's Kelcher. Tomorrow, an NFL doubleheader here on NBC Sports, 12:30 Eastern Time for NFL 82. Always a fine, emotional game. The Browns and Bengals at Cincinnati. The Steelers are at Buffalo. 2 outstanding records there. Baltimore, Minnesota, Miami, and New England. And then the second half of the doubleheader, some of you will see the Raiders at Kansas City, the other Broncos and the Rams. That's tomorrow here on NBC. Merlin, you mentioned that since the strike, San Diego's had a letdown in the second half, but not so today.
Certainly not. No letdown at all.
4th and 10, or San Diego gets the ball.
He may run it.
Intercepted by Woody Lowe, and he's tackled at the 37-yard line.
Instant silence in the stadium.
Not on that Charger sideline. The Chargers are about to be 4-2, and San Francisco 2-4.
Montana rolling out to assure that he would have time to throw this football. It looked for a second as if he might have been able to make the first down running. He was not going to take a chance. Stop, looking for the open man now. Thought he could gun the ball to number 88, Solomon. Instead, number 51, Woody Lowe, up in front of the football for the crucial interception.
John Capoletti.
Touchdown. Nope.
Just tripped up by Dwight Hicks, saving a touchdown by Cappelletti. Back to Woody Lowe, who made that interception. It was his first this year, but Lowe has always been a ball hawk as a linebacker. It's his 15th career interception. He even scored 3 times on interceptions.
In analyzing the weaknesses of the Charger defense, one of the problems they have is a lack of speed at their linebacking positions. But Woody Lowe had enough speed on that play to put himself in the right place at the right time.
San Francisco does not spend a timeout. There's Lowe, the man who deflected one pass and intercepted another in that crucial series. Cappelletti hit by Jeff Stover. And San Francisco calls time with 56 seconds left. Montana, a brilliant day, but at the moment apparently in defeat. There are the numbers. Fouts with 2 more completions. He threw 2 more passes. 450 yards, a personal record for Fouts. Montana setting a new NFL record, 5 straight games over 300 yards. 5 touchdowns for Fouts, 3 to Chandler. Montana throwing for 3 scores. And then that final statistic that really separates them, 2 interceptions, Montana, none for Fouts.
I think, Dick, it's like watching one of those shutout battles between 2 great pitchers, too. It's almost a shame that one has to lose.
64 completions, that is a record. And there will be just shy of the most passing attempts record. Thanks to Bob Coffey, Mel Corwin, Dennis Kennelly, Kurt Cornell, Joe Costanza for their help in the booth today. But what a frustrating moment for those Super Bowl champions. 2-4. If they win their last 3, that would make them 5-4, and that wouldn't necessarily assure them the playoffs. But the feeling is with 8 teams, 5-4 would do it.
49ers also had the advantage of having played well in their division.
Straight ahead goes Big Chuck Muncy. And inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Well, we've had a dandy here today. San Diego apparently on its way to a 41-37 victory. And tomorrow, NBC pleased to bring you an NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with Len Berman and the gang on NFL 82. And we hope you'll join us beginning at 12:30 here on the West Coast at 9:30 in the morning. 2 games today. The New York Giants are at 3-3 after beating the Philadelphia Eagles 23-7, and Dick Vermeil's club falls to 1-5. Bill Walsh facing the sidelines apparently will be 2-4. Tough to repeat. Coordinating producer of NBC's NFL coverage is Ted Nathanson. Today's game was produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Ted Nathanson. NFL 82 produced by David Neal and Ron Kershaw, directed by John Filippelli. Technical directors Ray Pagelski and Sal Nagita. Associate director John Libretto. Associate producers Michael Hadley and Tom Roy. 39 seconds left, and now Fouts will force San Francisco to spend its final timeout. Now I guess they don't have one, so that's it. They'll mark the ball, and now it's just academic as the clock eats away. And Don Coryell's San Diego Chargers will go home with a well-earned victory.
We came expecting a football feast, and everyone except the 49ers goes away full. I think even the fans here have to have rejoiced a little bit in the kind of football they've seen, Dick.
Record-setting day, Joe Montana in defeat. Most completions to teams ever in NFL history. But San Diego's Chargers prevail. Chargers looking ahead optimistically as they have their final 3 games at home as they look ahead to the playoffs. And the 49ers are in a fight. They must win 3 to hold any hope of getting into the playoffs and defending their Super Bowl championship. Fouts the man. 5 touchdown passes. No interceptions. A personal record high 450 yards. It all spells victory for San Diego. Chargers 41, 49ers 37.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for
sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
Like a lot of people, I'm taking better care of my body. Better care of my skin, too.
With Skin Bracer Aftershave. Shaving is rough, so I use Skin Bracer. It cools and smooths skin. Tightens pores. That's the tingle. Smells great, too. But Skin Bracer's not cologne. It's skin care that feels good. That's why more men are saying, thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer, now in spice, too. Takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By men.
Len Berman, NFL 82. Let's go down to the field for my colleague, Pete Axtell. Pete?
We've watched an offensive work of art by two artists here, and Dan Fouts, congratulations on the great victory. Sometimes it wasn't just the pinpoint artwork, it was subtlety, floating passes to Chandler to take advantage of situation.
Well, we feel that any time we got Wes or any of our receivers singled up, that there's a pretty good chance they're going to come down with it. And the pass protection that I got today was just awesome. I didn't get sacked one time, and Wes is a great athlete.
Joe Montana, it's the kind of game you'd like to say nobody loses. You did come out on the short end of a great performance. The last two plays, the third down play, it looked like somebody was open. Wilbur Young got a hand up.
Yeah, I had the fullback coming around on the curl real quick, and I tried to get it to him quick because the linebacker was dropping back. Wilbur's a big guy, sticks his hand out and knocks it down. Breaks of the game, I guess.
What's your reflection on the whole day, both of you quickly?
Well, same as we thought before. The team that had the ball last is going to win it, and they did.
Dan, I have to ask you to compare it to the last time I talked to you like this in Miami in the Orange Bowl. Similar game.
Very similar, and thank God we didn't have to go to overtime to win it. But just a tremendous effort by both teams, similar to that Miami game where neither team was going to give in a bit. And I tell you, I'm just glad for our defense came up at the right time and made the big play like Joe said.
Privileged to be with two artists of this type. Back up to you, Len.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Big doubleheader tomorrow. We'll kick it off with NFL 82. Lots of features and highlights coming your way. See you tomorrow for the NBC doubleheader. Let's go back to Dick Enberg. Dick?
Don't pass that up. Tomorrow, we've got an NFL doubleheader action here on NBC Sports. The Battle of Ohio features the Browns visiting Ken Anderson and the defending AFC champion Bengals. Many of you will see the Steelers against the Bills. And at 4 o'clock Eastern, the Raiders and the Chiefs renew their rivalry while the Broncos tangle with the Rams in Los Angeles. Check your local listings for the times and the games in your area. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL 82. Right here on the home of the Super Bowl, NBC Sports. And stay tuned tonight for this fine programming.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. We serve more of this land's top 100 business centers than any other airline. Fly the friendly skies.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, the leader in innovative sports television.